Amara's hand shook as she stared at the crisp $100 bill in her palm, her last $100 in the world. Behind her, her phone buzzed with the text she'd been dreading. Final notice. Your father's treatment will be suspended if payment not received by Friday. Evergreen Rehabilitation Center. That was tomorrow. Friday. She looked up at the man sitting on the curb outside the Publix grocery store on Peachtree Street. Raggedy clothes that had seen better days. Worn Nike sneakers with holes in the sides. A cardboard sign that read, "Homeless veteran, anything helps, God bless." But it was his eyes that stopped her, not begging, not demanding, just tired, like he'd given up on humanity showing him any kindness. Across the parking lot, a woman in a white Mercedes had just thrown her half-full Starbucks cup at him. The liquid splashed across his shirt.
"Get a job, you bum!"
The woman screamed before climbing into her luxury car and speeding away. Amara's phone buzzed again. Her DoorDash app, new delivery available, $6.50. She could take that delivery. Keep her $100, make a few more deliveries tonight. Maybe, possibly, hopefully have enough by tomorrow, or her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory, clear as a church bell. Baby girl, we might not have much, but we always have enough to share. That's what makes us rich. Amara took a deep breath and walked toward the homeless man, her last $100 still clutched in her hand. What happened next would change her life forever, but not in the way you think. If you want to see what Amara does with that $100, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. This story is going to take you places you never expected. Now, let's go back to where it all started, 3 months before this moment, when Amara's whole world came crashing down. 3 months earlier, February, Atlanta, Georgia. Amara Winters stood in the kitchen of Winters' Soul Kitchen, her family's restaurant in the old Fourth Ward neighborhood, putting the final touches on a plate of pan-seared salmon with bourbon peach glaze and garlic collard greens. At 27 years old, Amara had spent her whole life dreaming of this moment, working alongside her father, creating food that made people close their eyes and smile, carrying on her grandmother's legacy. The restaurant was small, only 15 tables, tucked between a barber shop and a hair salon on Edgewood Avenue. But what it lacked in size, it made up for in soul. 3 generations of the Winters family had poured their hearts into this place. "Order up," Amara called out, sliding the plate across the pass. Her father, Terrence Winters, looked up from the grill where he was flipping catfish fillets. At 58 years old, Terry Winters was a big man with kind eyes and hands that had been cooking for 40 years. Salt and pepper hair, a smile that could light up a room, and a laugh that made everyone around him feel safe. "Baby girl, that plate looks beautiful," Terry said, pride filling his voice. "Your grandmother would be so proud of you." Amara smiled. Her grandmother, Mama Louise, had passed away 3 years ago, but her presence still filled every corner of this kitchen. It was Mama Louise who had taught Amara that cooking wasn't just about feeding people's stomachs. It was about feeding their souls. The dinner service was busy that Friday night. Every table was full. Regulars who'd been coming for years, mixed with new faces who'd heard about the food through word of mouth. Amara's best friend, Keisha Johnson, was working the floor as a server. Keisha was 26, with beautiful dark skin, long locks pulled back in a ponytail, and a personality that could make even the grumpiest customer smile. "Table 7 wants to know if you can make the mac and cheese extra crispy on top," Keisha said, poking her head into the kitchen. "And Table 12 says this is the best fried chicken they've ever had in their life." "Tell Table 12 I love them," Amara said, laughing as she stirred a pot of her grandmother's famous mac and cheese. "And Table 7 is about to get the crispiest top they've ever seen," Terry chuckled from his station. "That's my girl, always going the extra mile." But even in the middle of that busy, beautiful Friday night, Amara could see the stressed lines on her father's face, could see the way his hands shook just slightly when he thought no one was looking. The restaurant was struggling, had been struggling for months. Her mother, Diane, had been in charge of the books. But Diane had never really loved the restaurant life, never loved the long hours, the thin profit margins, the constant hustle. She'd married Terry young, had Amara young, and had spent 29 years feeling trapped in a life she never wanted. What Amara didn't know that Friday night was that her mother had a secret, a gambling problem that had started small and grown into something that was eating them alive. What Amara didn't know was that her mother had been taking money from the restaurant for months. Thousands of dollars, gone to poker games and slot machines and desperate attempts to win back what she'd already lost. What Amara didn't know was that tonight would be the last normal night of her life. It happened at 8:37 p.m. Her father was reaching for a pan on the high shelf when his face suddenly went slack. His left arm dropped to his side. The pan clattered to the floor. Amara said, turning around. Terry tried to speak, but the words came out slurred and wrong. His left leg buckled. "Dad," Amara screamed, rushing to catch him as he fell. The next few hours were a blur. The ambulance, the ride to Grady Memorial Hospital, the doctors using words like stroke and left hemisphere and extensive damage. Keisha had closed up the restaurant and met Amara at the hospital. They sat in the waiting room, Amara's hands covered in her father's blood from where he'd hit his head when he fell. "Where's your mama?" Keisha asked gently. Amara had been calling her mother for hours. Every call went straight to voicemail. At 2 in the morning, a doctor came out. Dr. Patel, a woman in her 40s with tired eyes and a gentle voice. "Your father is stable," Dr. Patel said. "But the stroke was severe. He's going to need extensive rehabilitation. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. It's going to be a long road." "He'll be okay?" Amara asked, her voice breaking. "He'll recover, with time and proper treatment, yes. He should regain most of his function, but Miss Winters, I have to be honest with you. The kind of care he needs is expensive. Does your father have good insurance?" Amara's stomach dropped. She knew the answer. The restaurant's insurance was basic. The bare minimum. They'd been cutting costs wherever they could. "We'll figure it out," Amara said, though she had no idea how. At 6 a.m., Amara finally went home to shower and change. That's when she found the note. It was on the kitchen table of their small house in Kirkwood. Plain white paper, her mother's handwriting. "I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. I took what was left in the account. Don't look for me." Diane, Amara read the note 3 times before the words really sank in. Her mother was gone. She rushed to her laptop and logged into the restaurant's bank account. The account that should have had at least $30,000. Money they'd been saving for a new stove and renovations. The balance was $472. Amara sat at that kitchen table and cried like she hadn't cried since her grandmother died. Great, heaving sobs that came from somewhere deep in her soul. Her father was in the hospital. Her mother had abandoned them and stolen their money. And the restaurant, the family legacy, the dream she'd worked for her whole life, was about to slip through her fingers like water. The next 2 weeks were the hardest of Amara's life. The hospital bills started piling up. Even with her father's basic insurance, the out-of-pocket costs were staggering. $15,000 just for the emergency surgery. Another $5,000 for the first week of rehabilitation. Amara tried to keep the restaurant open. Tried to run it by herself with Keisha's help. But without her father's skills, without money to pay the other cook they'd had, without money for supplies, it was impossible. 3 weeks after her father's stroke, Amara had to close Winter's Soul Kitchen for good. She stood in the empty restaurant on that last day, looking at the kitchen where she'd learned to cook. The dining room where families had celebrated birthdays and anniversaries. The walls covered in photos of 3 generations of Winter's family memories. "So sorry, Daddy," she whispered to the empty room. "I'm so sorry, Mama Louise, I failed you." Keisha put an arm around her shoulders. "You didn't fail nobody, Amara. Life just dealt you a bad hand." "What am I going to do?" Amara asked. "I have $53,000 in student loans from culinary school. Dad's medical bills are over $20,000 and climbing. I have no job, no restaurant, no nothing." "You're going to survive," Keisha said firmly. "Because that's what Winter's women do. You're going to find a job, take care of your daddy, and figure the rest out one day at a time." Keisha was right, but that didn't make it any easier. Amara applied to every restaurant in Atlanta. But the economy was tight. Jobs were scarce. And most high-end restaurants wanted chefs with experience at their level, not someone who'd only cooked at a small family restaurant. Finally, after 2 weeks of rejection, she got an interview at Piedmont Grill, an upscale restaurant in Midtown. The head chef, a man named Chef Williams, looked at her resume with interest. "Your training is impressive," he said. "Le Cordon Bleu certification, strong references. Why are you applying for a waitress position?" Amara swallowed her pride. "I need a job, any job. I have family obligations that require immediate income." Chef Williams studied her for a long moment. "I respect that honesty." "You're hired. But Miss Winters, don't waste your talent serving tables forever. A gift like yours needs to be in the kitchen. Yes, sir, Amara said, though she didn't know if she'd ever get back in a professional kitchen again. The manager of Piedmont Grill was a man named Chen Wei, but everyone called him Charlie. He was a 52-year-old Chinese-American man who'd worked in restaurants his whole life. Short, thin, with graying hair and glasses that were always slipping down his nose. Charlie was stressed all the time. The restaurant owners were demanding, the customers were difficult, the profit margins were tight, and he took all that stress out on his staff. On Amara's first day, he barked at her for being 2 minutes late, even though she'd taken 3 buses to get there because her car had broken down and she couldn't afford to fix it. In this business, 2 minutes might as well be 2 hours. Charlie yelled in front of the other servers. You think customers wait for you to decide to show up? Amara bit her tongue and apologized. She needed this job. Her days became a blur of exhaustion. Up at 5 a.m. to take 2 buses to Grady Hospital to see her father before his morning physical therapy. Then 3 buses to Piedmont Grill for the lunch shift. Then DoorDash deliveries from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Back to Piedmont Grill for the dinner shift from 5 to 10. Then home to her small apartment in Stone Mountain that she'd moved to because it was all she could afford, 4 hours of sleep. Then do it all again. Her father was improving slowly. The physical therapy was helping him regain movement on his left side. The speech therapy was helping him talk more clearly. But he'd been moved from the hospital to a rehabilitation facility, and even with insurance, the costs were crushing. Baby girl, you look exhausted, Terry said one afternoon when Amara visited. His speech was still slow but getting better. You're working too hard. Fine, Daddy, Amara lied, forcing a smile. The job at Piedmont Grill is good, the tips are decent. Terry reached for her hand with his right hand, the one that still worked properly. I'm sorry, this is all my fault. Say that, Amara said fiercely. None of this is your fault. You had a stroke, that's not something you can control. Your mama. Terry's voice broke. If I'd been a better husband, maybe she wouldn't have. Daddy, stop. Mama made her own choices. That's on her, not you. But Amara could see the guilt and sadness in her father's eyes. The man who'd always been so strong, so full of joy, looked broken. At work, Amara tried her best to keep her head down and do her job. But it was hard, especially when she'd catch glimpses of the kitchen. Watch the chefs plating beautiful dishes. Smell the herbs and spices that reminded her of her grandmother's kitchen. One night during a slow moment, Amara snuck closer to the kitchen window to watch Chef Williams prepare his signature dish. Duck breast with cherry reduction and roasted fingerling potatoes. His knife work was beautiful, precise, confident. Every movement had purpose. Amara was so absorbed in watching that she didn't hear Charlie come up behind her. What are you doing? Charlie snapped. Amara jumped. I'm sorry, You were just wasting time, Charlie said. Table 6 needs water refills. Table 9 is ready to order. Stop dreaming about things that aren't your business and do your actual job. Amara's face burned with embarrassment as the other servers and some customers looked over at the commotion. Yes, sir, she said quietly and went back to work. That night, Keisha met her after her shift. They sat in Keisha's car in the parking lot, sharing a bag of McDonald's French fries because it was all Amara could afford to eat. Keisha worked as a nurse at Grady Hospital. Long hours, hard work, but she loved taking care of people. She'd lost her older brother to gun violence 5 years ago, and becoming a nurse was her way of saving lives since she couldn't save his. Charlie embarrassed you again, Keisha asked, seeing the look on Amara's face. Just miss cooking, Amara said quietly. I miss being in the kitchen, miss using my hands to create something beautiful instead of just carrying other people's creations. You'll get back there, Keisha said. I know it feels impossible right now, but you will. I'm 27 years old, Amara said. 53,000 in debt, working as a waitress, taking care of my dad. I can't even afford to fix my car. When exactly am I going to get back in a professional kitchen? Keisha didn't have an answer for that. The weeks crawled by. March turned into April. April turned into May. Amara's father continued to improve, but the bills kept coming. The rehabilitation facility sent a letter. If the outstanding balance of $12,000 wasn't paid within 30 days, Terry would have to be moved to a state facility with much lower quality care. Amara tried everything. Applied for medical loans. Got rejected because her credit was already stretched thin with her student loans. Asked the hospital about payment plans. They offered one, but the monthly payments were more than she could afford. She started picking up extra DoorDash shifts, working 16, 17-hour days, barely sleeping, barely eating, running herself into the ground. Amara, you're going to make yourself sick, Keisha warned. You can't keep going like this. Don't have a choice, Amara said. If I don't pay, they'll move my daddy to a place where he won't get the care he needs. I can't let that happen. By mid-May, Amara had scraped together almost enough. Through tips, DoorDash, and selling almost everything she owned that had any value, she'd managed to save $11,900, just $100 short. That's when Amara made a decision that would change everything. She had $143 in her checking account. It was all the money she had in the world until her next paycheck in 5 days. She could make it work. Rice and beans for 5 days. Walk to work instead of taking the bus. No problem. On that Tuesday afternoon in mid-May, Amara went to the Publix on Peachtree Street to buy a few groceries for her father. She was bringing him fruit and his favorite crackers when she visited later. That's when she saw him. The man was sitting on the curb outside the Publix entrance. Mid-30s, black, with hair that looked like it hadn't been combed in days. He wore jeans that had holes in them, a stained t-shirt, and Nike sneakers that were falling apart. But it was his eyes that caught Amara's attention. Deep brown eyes that looked sad, tired, like he'd been disappointed by the world one too many times. His cardboard sign read, "Homeless veteran, anything helps. God bless." Amara had walked past plenty of homeless people in Atlanta. The city was full of them, especially in the more affluent areas. Usually she'd offer a smile, maybe $1 if she had won. But something about this man made her pause. Maybe it was the way he held himself. Shoulders slumped like he was carrying the weight of the world. Maybe it was the way he wasn't actively asking anyone for money. Just sitting there, existing, hopping for kindness. Amara was about to go into the store when she heard a woman's voice, sharp and cruel. "I said get away from this entrance." Amara turned to see a white woman in her early 40s, blonde hair perfectly styled, wearing what looked like a very expensive white pantsuit. She was standing over the homeless man, her face twisted with disgust. "Ma'am, I'm not bothering anyone," the man said quietly. You're making my customers uncomfortable," the woman said. She gestured to the Publix behind her like she owned it. "This is a high-end shopping area. We don't need people like you making it look trashy." "A veteran," the man said, and Amara could hear the dignity he was trying to hold onto. "I served this country for 8 years. I'm just asking for a little help to get back on my feet," woman laughed. It was a cold, ugly sound. "A veteran, please, I'm sure that's what they all say. If you really served your country, you'd have benefits, you'd have a job, you wouldn't be sitting on a street corner begging." Amara felt anger rise in her chest. She knew what it felt like to be looked down on, to have people assume they knew your story without knowing anything at all. She also knew that veterans often fell through the cracks. The VA system was overwhelmed. Mental health care was inadequate. She'd read articles about it, seen news stories. Before she could think twice, Amara walked up to the woman. "Excuse me," Amara said, her voice firm, "but I think you need to back up and leave this man alone." Woman turned to Amara, looking her up and down with obvious disdain, taking in Amara's worn sneakers, her simple jeans and t-shirt, her tired face. "And who are you?" the woman asked. "I'm someone who knows you don't have the right to talk to people like that," Amara said. "He's not hurting anyone, he's not blocking the entrance, he's just sitting there." "He's panhandling," the woman said. "It's probably illegal." "It's not illegal to ask for help," Amara said. "And even if it was, that doesn't give you the right to be cruel." Woman's face flushed red. She picked up her Starbucks cup and before Amara could react, threw it at the homeless man. Coffee splashed across his shirt and face. The man flinched but didn't move, like he'd been through this before, like he expected this kind of treatment. "That's what I think of people like him," the woman said, "and people like you who defend them." She climbed into her white Mercedes and drove away, tires squealing. Amara stood there for a moment, shocked by what she'd just witnessed. Then she knelt down next to the man. "You okay?" she asked. The man was wiping coffee from his face with the sleeve of his already stained shirt. Up close, Amara could see he was younger than she'd first thought, maybe early 30s, and despite the rough exterior, there was something about his face. Handsome features beneath the dirt and exhaustion. "Fine," he said quietly. "Used to it." "You shouldn't have to be used to it," Amara said. She pulled a packet of tissues from her purse and handed them to him. I'm sorry that woman treated you like that. Man took the tissues, surprise flickering across his face, like he wasn't used to kindness. Thank you. What's your name? Amara asked. The man hesitated for a moment. Then, Jordan. I'm Amara, she said. And for what it's worth, Jordan, thank you for your service. Jordan's eyes met hers and something passed between them. Recognition, understanding. Two people who knew what it felt like to be at rock bottom. Amara stood up. She needed to get her father's groceries and get going. Her DoorDash shift started in an hour, but as she walked toward the store entrance, that feeling wouldn't leave her. The feeling that Jordan needed help, real help. Not just tissues and kind words. She thought about her grandmother. Mama Louise had always said that when you had a little, you gave a little. When you had a lot, you gave a lot. And when you had almost nothing, you gave what you could and trusted that somehow, someway, it would come back to you. Amara did her shopping, bought her father's fruit and crackers, bought herself a bag of rice and a dozen eggs, $23.47. That left her with $119.53. She stood at the exit of the Publix, looking at Jordan still sitting on that curb. He hadn't moved, hadn't approached anyone. Just sat there with his sign, hope fatting a little more with every person who walked past without seeing him. Amara thought about her father, about the $12,000 she needed, about the $100 she was short. She thought about the fact that she could make $100 in tips over the next few days, that she could eat rice and eggs, that she could walk to work. She thought about her grandmother's voice. We always have enough to share. Amara walked over to Jordan. Her heart was pounding. Her practical mind was screaming at her that this was crazy, that she needed that money, that she had her own problems, but her heart, the part of her that was still her grandmother's granddaughter, was louder. Jordan, Amara said. He looked up at her, those tired eyes meeting hers. Amara pulled out her wallet, took out the crisp $100 bill that she'd been planning to add to her father's payment. Want you to have this, Amara said, holding it out to him. Jordan stared at the money like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. That's $100. I know, Amara said. I can't take that, Jordan said. That's too much. You can, Amara said gently. She pressed the bill into his hand. Get yourself a hot meal, maybe a motel room for the night, a shower, whatever you need. Jordan's hand closed around the money and Amara saw his eyes fill with tears. Why? He asked, his voice breaking. You don't know me. Why would you do this? Amara thought about all the reasons she shouldn't, thought about her father, her debts, her own struggles. Then she thought about her grandmother, about the kind of person Mama Louise had raised her to be. Because somebody's got to believe things can get better, Amara said. And maybe if I believe it for you, I can start believing it for myself. She gave Jordan a small smile, then walked away before she could change her mind. As Amara walked to the bus stop, her phone buzzed with a text from the rehabilitation center. Final notice. Your father's treatment will be suspended if payment not received by Friday. That was 3 days away. Amara had just given away her last $100. She sat at the bus stop and let herself have one moment of panic, one moment of wondering if she just made the biggest mistake of her life. Then she took a deep breath and pulled out her phone, opened her DoorDash app. Time to work. Time to hustle. Time to figure out how to make $100 in 3 days. She could do this. She had to. What Amara didn't know was that Jordan was still sitting on that curb, staring at the $100 bill in his hand like it was a miracle. What Amara didn't know was that Jordan wasn't actually homeless. What Amara didn't know was that the man she just helped was Jordan Alexander Ross, billionaire, CEO of Ross Continental Hotels, one of the wealthiest men in Atlanta. And what Amara definitely didn't know was that this one act of kindness was about to change both of their lives forever. Jordan sat on that curb for a long time after Amara walked away, staring at the $100 bill in his hand. He'd been undercover for 2 weeks now, living on the streets of Atlanta, sleeping in shelters, eating at soup kitchens, experiencing what it was like to be invisible, to have people look through you like you weren't even human. It had started as an experiment. A way to escape the pressure of his real life for a while. A way to see if genuine kindness still existed in the world. Jordan Alexander Ross had been born into wealth. His great-grandfather, Samuel Ross, had started with a single hotel in Harlem, New York, back in 1945. A hotel that catered to black travelers during a time when most hotels wouldn't serve them. Over 3 generations, the Ross family had built that single hotel into an empire. Ross Continental Hotels now had 47 properties worldwide. Five-star hotels in New York, Los Angeles, London, Paris, Dubai, and Atlanta. Jordan had grown up with every advantage. Private schools, Harvard MBA, trust fund that would support him for 10 lifetimes. But money didn't protect you from pain. His mother, Caroline Ross, had died when Jordan was 15. A heart attack brought on by stress and high blood pressure. The doctors said it was genetic. Bad luck. Just one of those things, but Jordan knew the truth. His mother had been crushed by the weight of expectations. His father, Marcus Ross Sr., was a hard man, demanding, controlling. He'd expected Caroline to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect representative of the Ross family name. Caroline had tried. God, she'd tried, but it had killed her. Jordan had sworn at his mother's funeral that he would never let his family control his life the way they'd controlled hers, that he would make his own choices, live his own life. He'd kept that promise. Mostly. He'd worked his way up in the family business, not because of his name, but because he was good at it. He'd doubled the company's profits in 5 years, expanded into new markets, modernized their operations. At 32, he'd proven himself worthy of being CEO, but his father still wanted control, still wanted to dictate Jordan's life. 6 weeks ago, Marcus Sr. had called Jordan into his office at the Ross Continental headquarters in Buckhead. "Son, sit down," Marcus had said. "We need to talk about your future." Jordan had sat, already knowing he wasn't going to like where this conversation was going. "Whitmore family has been our partner for 20 years, Marcus said. "Gerald Whitmore and I have built something powerful together. Our hotels, their property development, it's a perfect synergy." "I'm aware," Jordan said carefully. "Gerald and I have discussed strengthening that partnership," Marcus continued. "Through marriage, between you and his daughter, Vanessa." Jordan's stomach had dropped. "Absolutely not." "You haven't even heard the proposal," Marcus said. "I don't need to hear it," Jordan said. "I'm not marrying Vanessa Whitmore." "Vanessa is beautiful, intelligent, and from a good family," Marcus said. "You two would be perfect together." "Dated briefly in college," Jordan said. "It didn't work out. She's not the kind of woman I want to spend my life with." "What kind of woman is that?" Marcus asked. "Because from where I'm sitting, every woman you've dated has been more interested in your bank account than in you." That had stung because it was true. Jordan's last girlfriend, a woman named Jasmine, had been with him for 8 months. He'd thought maybe she was different. Maybe she actually cared about him. Then she'd sold a story to the tabloids. Inside the life of billionaire Jordan Ross, the man behind the money, complete with private photos, text messages, and intimate details of their relationship. She'd made $50,000 from that story. Jordan had learned that she'd been shopping the story around for months, waiting for the highest bidder. It had broken something in him, made him wonder if anyone could ever love him for himself, not for what he could give them. "Not marrying Vanessa," Jordan had said firmly. "And you can't make me." Marcus had leaned back in his chair, studying his son. "You're right. I can't make you, but I can make your life very difficult if you don't." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means that the board of directors is concerned about your judgment," Marcus said. "The situation with Jasmine was embarrassing for the company. Your personal life has become a liability." "That's ridiculous," Jordan said. "Is it?" Marcus asked. "You're the face of this company, Jordan. Your behavior reflects on all of us. The board has asked me to consider whether you're ready for the responsibility of being CEO." Jordan had felt ice in his veins. "You're threatening to remove me." "I'm saying that you need to prove you can make mature, responsible decisions," Marcus said. "Marrying Vanessa would show that you're thinking about the company's future, that you're ready to put the family legacy first. If I refuse, then the board will vote on your position at the next quarterly meeting, 90 days from now." Marcus had stood up, signaling the conversation was over. "Think about it, son. Think about what's really important. Your pride or your family's legacy." Jordan had walked out of that office feeling like the walls were closing in. He'd spent the next few weeks going through the motions, attending meetings, closing deals, smiling for the cameras, but inside he was drowning. That's when he'd gotten the idea. The crazy, desperate idea. What if he just disappeared for a while? What if he stepped away from the money, the name, the expectations, and saw what life was really like? What if he tested humanity? Saw if kindness existed when there was nothing to gain from it. Jordan had told his assistant, his younger brother Marcus Jr., that he needed a few weeks off, that he was going on a private retreat and didn't want to be disturbed. Then he'd bought some old clothes from a thrift store, stopped shaving, messed up his hair, and started living on the streets. It had been brutal, Eye-opening, humbling. He'd learned what it felt like to be invisible, to have people step over you like you were trash, to be afraid of where you'd sleep each night. He'd also learned that most people didn't see homeless people as human beings. They saw problems, inconveniences, things to be avoided. In 2 weeks, only 3 people had shown him genuine kindness. An elderly black woman who'd given him a sandwich and told him Jesus loved him. A teenage kid who'd given him a bottle of water on a hot day. And now Amara, who'd given him her last $100. Jordan had been sitting on that curb when he'd overheard her on the phone earlier. Had heard her tell someone that she could make it work with what she had until Friday. Had heard the stress in her voice. And yet she'd still given him that money, no hesitation, no judgment, just pure, genuine kindness. Jordan stood up from the curb. He pulled out the phone he'd been keeping hidden in his pocket. The phone he'd turned off for 2 weeks. When he turned it on, it exploded with notifications. Missed calls from Marcus Jr., texts from business associates, emails marked urgent. He ignored all of them and made one call. "Marcus," Jordan said when his brother answered, "I need you to do something for me." "Jordan, where the hell have you been?" Marcus Jr. asked. "Dad is losing his mind. The board meeting is in." "I need you to find out everything you can about a woman named Amara Winters," Jordan interrupted. "I need to know where she works, where she lives, what her story is." "Why? Just do it, please," Jordan said. "I'll explain later." He hung up and looked in the direction Amara had walked. She'd said something that stuck with him. "Maybe if I believe it for you, I can start believing it for myself." What had happened to make someone so kind lose faith in her own future? Jordan needed to know, not because he wanted to save her, not because he was looking for a project, but because in 2 weeks of being invisible, Amara was the first person who'd really seen him. Amara worked like a woman possessed for the next 3 days. She took every DoorDash delivery that came through, no matter how small. $3 for a McDonald's run, she took it. $4 to deliver Taco Bell across town, she took it. Between deliveries, she worked her shifts at Piedmont Grill, smiled at customers even when her feet were screaming in pain, carried heavy trays even though her back ached. By Thursday night, she'd made $67 in extra money. Combined with what she had left after buying groceries, she had $86. She needed $14 more by tomorrow afternoon. "You look like you're about to fall over," Keisha said when she stopped by Amara's apartment Thursday night. She'd brought food from the hospital cafeteria, knowing Amara wasn't eating properly. "I'm fine," Amara said, though she was swaying on her feet. "When's the last time you slept more than 4 hours?" Keisha asked. "I don't know, Tuesday." Amara. "I'm almost there, Keisha," Amara said. "I just need $14 more. I can make that tomorrow morning with DoorDash before my shift at the restaurant." Keisha looked at her friend with worried eyes. "Baby, you're running yourself into the ground." "I don't have a choice," Amara said. "If I don't pay by tomorrow, they move my daddy. I can't let that happen." "Me lend you the $14, Keisha said. "Please," Amara said firmly. "You're already helping with gas money and food. I'm not taking more from you." "That's what friends are for," Keisha said. "And I appreciate it," Amara said. "But I can do this. I just need 1 more day." Friday morning started badly. Amara's alarm didn't go off because her phone had died in the night. The charger she'd been using was cheap and had finally broken. She woke up at 7 a.m. instead of 5 and panic set in immediately. She'd missed the morning DoorDash rush. Missed her chance to make that last $14 before her shift at Piedmont Grill. "No, no, no," Amara whispered, scrambling to get ready. She threw on her uniform and ran to the bus stop. If she could just get to the restaurant early, maybe she could pick up a few deliveries during the lunch shift. That's when the sky opened up. Atlanta in May could be unpredictable. Beautiful and sunny 1 minute, pouring rain the next. This wasn't just rain. This was a deluge. The kind of rain that soaked you to the bone in seconds. Amara ran through the rain to the bus stop, but she was too late. The bus had just pulled away. The next one wouldn't come for 40 minutes. By the time Amara arrived at Piedmont Grill, she was soaking wet, 45 minutes late, and looked like she'd been through a hurricane. Charlie was waiting for her at the entrance. "Late," he said, his face red with anger. "So sorry," Amara said, water dripping from her hair onto the restaurant's marble floor. "My phone died and I missed my alarm and then the rain." "I don't want to hear excuses," Charlie said. "This is the 3rd time this month you've been late." "I know, and I'm sorry, but if you just let me explain." "No," Charlie said. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of you walking around here looking like you're half dead. I'm tired of catching you staring at the kitchen like you're too good to be a server. That's not fair, Amara said, her own anger rising despite her exhaustion. I work harder than anyone here. I never complain. I always stay late when you need me. Yet you can't manage to show up on time, Charlie said. Other staff members were gathering now. Watching, some looked sympathetic, others looked entertained by the drama. My father is in the hospital, Amara said, her voice breaking. I'm working 2 jobs to pay his medical bills. I'm doing the best I can. Then maybe you need to work somewhere that doesn't require punctuality, Charlie said. You're fired, Amara. Get your things and go. The words hit Amara like a physical blow. You can't fire me, Amara said. Please, I need this job. I'll never be late again, I promise. But Charlie had already turned away. Security will escort you out if necessary. Amara stood there, dripping wet, humiliated in front of her coworkers and the early lunch customers. She wanted to scream, to cry, to beg, but her grandmother had raised her with dignity. So Amara lifted her chin, walked to the staff room, got her purse and left. She walked out into the rain that was still pouring down, and then finally she let herself fall apart. Amara sat on a bench outside the restaurant and cried. Great, heaving sobs that came from somewhere deep in her soul. She'd lost her job. She didn't have the money for her father's payment. She was soaking wet and exhausted and so tired of fighting. I can't do this anymore, Amara whispered to the rain. Mama Louise, I can't. I'm not strong enough. That's when she heard a familiar voice. Amara, she looked up through the rain to see Jordan, the homeless man from the Publix except. He wasn't in his usual spot. He was here in Midtown, blocks from where she'd seen him before, and he was looking at her with genuine concern. Jordan, Amara said, confused. What are you doing here? I was. Jordan hesitated. I was in the area. I saw you sitting here. Are you okay? Do I look okay? Amara asked, and then she laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. I just got fired. I'm broke. My dad is going to lose his treatment. And I'm sitting in the rain talking to a homeless man. So no, I'm not okay. Jordan sat down next to her on the bench, not seeming to care about the rain. Restaurant you were going into, Jordan said. You worked there? Worked. Past tense, Amara said. My manager just fired me for being late, which I was because my life is falling apart. Sorry, Jordan said quietly. Yeah, well, that and $3 will get me a cup of coffee, Amara said. Then she looked at him. Really looked at him. How have you been? Did that $100 help? Jordan stared at her. This woman had just lost her job, was sitting in the rain, clearly at rock bottom, and she was asking about him. It helped more than you know, Jordan said softly. They sat in silence for a moment, rain falling around them. Can I tell you something? Amara said. Of course. That $100 I gave you, it was supposed to go toward my dad's medical bills. I was $100 short of what I needed, and I gave it to you instead. Jordan's heart stopped. Amara. You know what the crazy thing is? Amara continued. I don't regret it. Even now, even with everything falling apart, I don't regret helping you. Because maybe that's all we can do in this world. Help each other when we can, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when we can barely help ourselves. Jordan sat there, his heart breaking and healing at the same time. This woman. This incredible, selfless, beautiful-souled woman. He'd been looking for proof that genuine goodness existed, and he'd found it. Amara, Jordan said carefully. What if I told you that things could get better, that you could get a second chance? Amara laughed again, that same bitter sound. Second chances are for people in fairy tales, Jordan. I live in the real world. In the real world, good people get crushed. Hard work doesn't always pay off. And sometimes you do everything right and still lose. What if I should go? Amara said, standing up. I need to figure out how to tell my dad that I failed him. You didn't fail anyone, Jordan said, standing with her. Appreciate the kindness, Amara said, but you're wrong. I failed my grandmother by losing her restaurant. I failed my dad by not being able to afford his care. I failed myself by thinking I could actually make it in this city. She started to walk away. Amara, wait, Jordan said. She turned back. Jordan made a decision in that moment, a decision that would change both of their lives. What if I told you I could help? Jordan said. Homeless, Amara said gently. How could you help? What if I'm not what I seem? Jordan asked. Amara studied him for a long moment. Then, none of us are what we seem. We're all just trying to survive. She walked away into the rain. Jordan stood there watching her go. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. Marcus, he said when his brother answered. I need you to do something for me, today, right now. What's going on? Marcus Jr. asked. Need you to buy Piedmont Grill, Jordan said. The whole restaurant, pay whatever they're asking. Jordan, that's insane. Why would we just do it? Jordan said. And I need you to contact Evergreen Rehabilitation Center. There's a patient there, Terrence Winters. I need his entire medical bill paid, anonymously. Jordan, what is happening? I'll explain everything, Jordan said. Right now, I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Marcus Jr. sighed. Yeah, man, I can do that. Thank you, Jordan said. Oh, and Marcus, I'm coming home. The experiment is over. I found what I was looking for. Amara went to the hospital to see her father, dreading the conversation she had to have. She found Terry in his room, working with his physical therapist on walking exercises. Baby girl, Terry said when he saw her, his face lighting up. His speech was so much better now. You're early, don't you have work? Daddy, can we talk? Amara said quietly. The physical therapist excused herself. Amara sat down next to her father's bed, trying to find the words. I lost my job today, she said finally. Terry's face fell. Oh, honey. I don't have the money for your payment, Amara continued, tears streaming down her face. I tried so hard, Daddy. I worked every shift I could, did every delivery. But I came up short, and now they're going to move you to a state facility, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Terry reached for his daughter's hand with his good hand. Amara Nicole Winters, he said firmly. You listen to me, you have nothing to apologize for, nothing, you've sacrificed everything for me, worked yourself to exhaustion, given up your own dreams, you're the strongest, most amazing person I know. I failed you, Amara sobbed. No, baby, Terry said. You could never fail me. You're my daughter, my pride and joy, and I would rather be in a state facility than watch you kill yourself trying to save me. They sat together, holding hands, both crying. That's when a nurse knocked on the door. Mr. Winters, there's someone from the billing department here to see you. Amara's stomach sank. They were probably here to tell them about the move. A woman in business attire walked in carrying a folder. Mr. Winters, Miss Winters, the woman said. My name is Susan Chen from billing. I have some news about your account. No, Amara said quietly. We didn't make the payment. We're prepared for the transfer. Susan looked confused. Transfer? No, I'm here to tell you that your account has been paid in full. Amara blinked. What? Your entire balance, Susan said. All outstanding charges plus the next 3 months of treatment. Paid in full this morning. That's impossible, Amara said. Who paid it? It was an anonymous donation, Susan said. The payment came from a charitable foundation. All we know is that someone wanted to help. Amara sat down, her legs suddenly unable to support her. This has to be a mistake, she said. No mistake, Susan said, smiling. Your father can continue his treatment here for as long as he needs. Congratulations. After Susan left, Amara and her father sat in stunned silence. What just happened? Terry asked. Have no idea, Amara said. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Amara answered. Winters, this is Robert Chen. I'm the owner of Piedmont Grill. Amara's stomach tight. Mr. Chen, look about this morning. I'm calling to inform you that the restaurant has been purchased, Robert said. The new owner would like to meet with you today if possible. Can you come to the restaurant at 4 p.m.? I don't understand, Amara said. Why would the new owner want to meet with me? I honestly don't know, Robert said. But he was very insistent. Will you come? Amara looked at the clock. It was 2 p.m. I'll be there, she said. After she hung up, she turned to her father. Daddy, something strange is happening. Maybe it's a miracle, baby girl, Terry said, smiling. Maybe Mama Louise is looking out for you from heaven. Amara wanted to believe that, but something in her gut told her this was something else entirely. At 3:45 p.m., Amara arrived at Piedmont Grill. There were luxury cars parked outside. Black Mercedes, BMWs, a Bentley. Her stomach churned with anxiety. Keisha had driven her, refusing to let her face whatever this was alone. Girl, I don't know what's happening, but I got your back, Keisha said. They walked inside together. Charlie was there, looking nervous and sweaty. More nervous than Amara had ever seen him. Miss Winters, Charlie said, his voice shaking slightly. Thank you for coming. The new owner is in the private dining room. Is it? Amara asked. I think it's better if he introduces himself, Charlie said. He led them through the restaurant to the private dining room in the back. Amara's heart was pounding. Charlie opened the door. Inside, there were several people in expensive suits. Lawyers, probably. Business people. And standing at the head of the table was a man. A black man in his early 30s, wearing an impeccably tailored navy suit. His hair was cut short and neat. His beard was trimmed perfectly. He carried himself with the confidence of someone who owned the world. When he turned around, Amara's entire world tilted on its axis. It was Jordan, but not Jordan the homeless man. This was someone else entirely. "Hello, Amara," Jordan said, his voice smooth and professional. Amara couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Keisha whispered next to her, "Girl, is that?" "My name is Jordan Alexander Ross," he said. "I'm the CEO of Ross Continental Hotels, and as of this morning, I'm the new owner of Piedmont Grill." Room spun. Jordan, the homeless man, was a billionaire. "You," Amara tried to form words. "You lied to me." "I didn't lie," Jordan said carefully. "I just didn't tell you everything. You let me give you my last $100. Amara's voice was rising. "You let me think you were homeless. You let me pour my heart out to you in the rain this morning when all along you were." She couldn't finish the sentence. "When I was what?" Jordan asked quietly. "Playing games with people's lives," Amara said. "Was I some kind of experiment to you, some kind of test?" Jordan's jaw tightened. "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" Amara demanded. "Because from where I'm standing, a billionaire pretended to be homeless, manipulated me into showing him kindness, and then what? Bought my workplace, paid my father's medical bills. All without telling me who you really were." "I wanted to help you," Jordan said. "I don't need your help," Amara said. "And I definitely don't need your pity." "It's not pity," Jordan said, stepping closer. "Amara, you gave me $100 when you had nothing. You defended me. You saw me as a human being when everyone else looked through me. That meant everything. Because I thought you needed it," Amara said. "I thought you were struggling. If I'd known you were a billionaire playing dress-up, I never would have." She stopped herself. "You never would have what?" Jordan asked softly. "Show me kindness. Doesn't that prove exactly why I had to do it this way?" Amara felt tears burning her eyes. "You had no right to deceive me." "You're right," Jordan said. "I should have told you the truth this morning, but I was afraid you'd react exactly like you're reacting now." "How am I reacting?" Amara asked. "Like you can't accept help," Jordan said. "Like you have to do everything alone, like asking for help or accepting kindness is some kind of weakness." His words hit too close to home. "I'm buying this restaurant," Jordan continued, "and I'm hearing you as the head chef." The room went silent. Amara stared at him. "What?" "You're incredibly talented," Jordan said. "I've done my research. Top of your class at Le Cordon Bleu's certification program. Stellar recommendations from your instructors. A portfolio of original recipes that are innovative and beautiful. You belong in a kitchen, not carrying other people's food." Amara said. Jordan blinked. "No, I don't need your charity," Amara said. "I don't need you to rescue me, and I definitely don't need you to buy your way out of guilt for lying to me." Keisha grabbed Amara's arm. "Girl, can we talk outside for a second?" "No," Amara said, pulling away. "I'm done here." She turned to leave. "Your father's medical bills have been paid," Jordan said. "That wasn't a loan, that was a gift. No strings attached. Whether you take this job or not, that money is his." Amara stopped at the door but didn't turn around. "And the job offer is real," Jordan continued. "Not charity, not guilt. You earned it with your talent. I'm also offering a full scholarship to complete whatever training you want. Le Cordon Bleu, CIA, anywhere you want to go." Amara asked, still not turning around. "Why do you care so much about some waitress you met on the street?" "Because you're not some waitress," Jordan said. "You're one of the most genuine, kind, selfless people I've ever met. And because when I was sitting on that curb, invisible to the world, you saw me, really saw me." Amara finally turned around. Tears were streaming down her face. "I can't just accept this," she said. "I can't be someone's charity project." "Then don't," Jordan said. "Make it a loan, pay back every penny if that's what you need, but don't walk away from your dreams because you're too proud to accept help." Stood there across the room from each other, the air crackling with tension. Keisha stepped forward. "Amara, can we please talk outside? Just for 2 minutes." Amara finally nodded. Outside in the hallway, Keisha grabbed both of Amara's shoulders. "I know you're mad," Keisha said, "and you have every right to be. He lied. That's messed up." "Thank you," Amara said, but Keisha continued. "Your daddy's medical bills are paid. You're being offered your dream job, a scholarship, a chance to actually be a chef instead of just dreaming about it. Are you really going to walk away from all that because your pride is hurt?" "It's not about pride," Amara said. "It's about. I don't know what his motives are. What if this is all some game? What if he gets bored and moves on to the next project?" "Then you'll deal with that when it happens," Keisha said. "But right now, today, you have an opportunity. Don't throw it away." Amara leaned against the wall, her mind racing. Everything Keisha was saying made sense, but it felt wrong, felt like she was selling out somehow. What would your grandmother tell you to do? Keisha asked gently. Amara closed her eyes. Mama Louise's voice came to her, clear as day. Baby girl, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Don't be so proud that you can't see a blessing when it's standing right in front of you. Amara took a deep breath, then another, then she walked back into the private dining room. Jordan was still standing there, waiting, his face carefully neutral, but his eyes were hopeful. I have conditions, Amara said. Jordan's expression shifted. I'm listening. My father's medical bills, Amara said. That's a loan I'll pay back every penny. That's not necess. Those are my terms, Amara interrupted. Take them or leave them. Jordan studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Agreed. The head chef position, Amara continued. I have a 3-month trial period. If I'm not good enough, you fire me. No favoritism, no special treatment because of whatever this is between us. You'll be good enough, Jordan said. You agree to my terms or not? Amara asked. Agree, Jordan said. And you stay away from me, Amara said. This is business, not whatever you were trying to do with your homeless act. I'm here to cook, to build my career, not to be part of your personal drama. Jordan's jaw tightened. Understood. Then I'll take the job, Amara said. One of the lawyers stepped forward with a contract. Amara read through it carefully. Everything was exactly as Jordan had said. Head chef position, competitive salary that made her eyes water, full benefits, scholarship fund for continued education. She signed her name at the bottom. Jordan signed as well. Welcome to Piedmont Grill, Chef Winters, Jordan said, extending his hand. Amara looked at his hand for a long moment, then she shook it. The moment their hands touched, electricity seemed to spark between them. Amara pulled her hand back quickly. Start Monday, she asked, all business. Monday, Jordan confirmed. Amara nodded and turned to leave. Amara, Jordan called after her. She stopped but didn't turn around. What it's worth, Jordan said quietly. I'm sorry for not being honest with you from the beginning. You deserved better than that. Amara didn't respond. She just walked out, Keisha following close behind. After they left, Marcus Jr. appeared from where he'd been standing in the corner. Well, that was intense, Marcus said. You really like this woman, don't you? She hates me, Jordan said. Can you blame her? Marcus asked. You lied to her, bro. Massively. I know, Jordan said, but I'm going to make it right, Marcus asked. I don't know yet, Jordan admitted, but I will because she's worth it. In Keisha's car, Amara sat in silence, her mind spinning. You did the right thing, Keisha said. Did I? Amara asked. Or did I just make a deal with the devil? Time will tell, Keisha said. But at least your daddy's taken care of, and you're going to be a chef, a real chef. Amara looked down at the contract in her hands, head chef. Amara Winters, she dreamed of seeing those words her whole life, so why did it feel like she'd just lost something important? Keisha, Amara said quietly. What if I'm making a huge mistake? Then you'll survive it, Keisha said. Just like you've survived everything else. But Amara, I don't think this is a mistake. I think this might be exactly where you're supposed to be. Amara wanted to believe that. But as she looked out the window at the Atlanta skyline, she couldn't shake the feeling that her life had just gotten a whole lot more complicated. That night, Amara sat in her small apartment, staring at the contract. She thought about everything that had happened, the fall, the struggle, the moment she gave Jordan her last $100, and now, this. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I know I asked you to keep this professional, but I need you to know something. That $100 you gave me, I'm framing it, because it's a reminder that genuine kindness exists in this world. Thank you for reminding me what matters. Amara stared at the text for a long time, then she typed a response. Don't thank me yet. You might regret hearing me when you see how stubborn I can be in a kitchen. Dots appeared. Then, I'm counting on it. See you Monday, Chef Winters. Amara smiled despite herself. Maybe, just maybe, this would work out. Or maybe it would all blow up in her face. Either way, she was about to find out. So there you have it, y'all. Amara gave a homeless man her last $100, not knowing he was a billionaire who would change her life forever. But this is just the beginning of the story, because Jordan's family is about to find out about his investment in Amara. And they are not happy about it. Vanessa Whitmore, the woman Jordan is supposed to marry, she's about to enter the picture. And trust me, she is not going to take this lying down. And Amara, she's about to discover that working for a billionaire comes with complications she never could have imagined. If you want to see what happens next, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment and tell me, Do you think Amara made the right choice accepting Jordan's offer? And do you think Jordan can earn her trust after starting their relationship with a lie? Also, smash that like button if you're rooting for Amara. This woman is a fighter, and her journey is just getting started. Monday morning, 3 weeks ago, Amara stood outside Piedmont Grill at 6 a.m. staring at the building that was about to become her domain, her kitchen, her restaurant, well, technically Jordan's restaurant, but he'd made it clear she was in charge of the culinary side. She still wasn't sure how she felt about that. You ready for this? Keisha asked. She'd driven Amara to work for this first day, knowing her friend was nervous. Have no idea, Amara admitted. Part of me still can't believe this is real. It's real, boo, Keisha said. You're about to be a head chef at 27. Do you know how incredible that is? Amara did know. She also knew she'd gotten here because a billionaire had decided to play games with her life. You got this, Keisha said, giving her a hug. Go in there and show them what Winter's women are made of. Amara took a deep breath and walked into the restaurant. Charlie was already there, looking nervous. He'd kept his job as general manager, though Amara knew he was walking on eggshells around her. Good morning, Chef Winters, Charlie said formally. It was the first time he'd called her chef. The word felt strange and wonderful all at once. Good morning, Charlie, Amara said. Is the kitchen staff here? Waiting for you, Charlie said. Mr. Ross left instructions that you have complete authority over all culinary decisions. The staff has been informed that you're in charge. Amara nodded and headed to the kitchen. 5 people were waiting for her. 2 sous chefs, 2 line cooks, and 1 pastry chef. All of them older than her. All of them looking skeptical. The head sous chef was a man named Marcus Chen. No relation to Charlie, despite the same last name. Marcus was 35, Chinese-American, with 15 years of experience in upscale kitchens. His resume included working at restaurants with Michelin stars. He looked at Amara like she was a child playing dress-up. So you're the new head chef, Marcus said. It wasn't a question, it was a challenge. I am, Amara said, meeting his eyes. And I know what you're thinking, I'm young. I don't have experience running a kitchen at this level, and I got this job because the owner took pity on me. She could see surprise flicker across their faces that she'd addressed it head-on. Right about some of that, Amara continued. I am young. I don't have years of experience like you do, Marcus. I earned my culinary degree with honors. I've spent my whole life cooking, and I'm here to make this restaurant the best in Atlanta. With all due respect, Marcus said, this kitchen was already one of the best in Atlanta. What makes you think you can improve on what Chef Williams built? Because Chef Williams was cooking for rich people who wanted to feel sophisticated, Amara said. I want to cook food that makes people feel something. That tells a story. That feeds souls, not just stomachs. She walked to the prep station and pulled out the menu she'd been working on for the past week. This is what I'm proposing for our new menu, Amara said, laying out the pages. Southern fusion. High-end techniques applied to soul food classics. My grandmother's recipes reimagined for fine dining. Marcus picked up the menu and started reading. His expression shifted from skeptical to interested. Shrimp and grits with lobster foam, crispy okra, and bourbon butter sauce. Braised oxtails with red wine reduction, truffle grits and caramelized pearl onions. Pan-seared catfish with lemon caper butter, collard green pesto and Parmesan cornbread crumbles. Fried chicken with champagne honey glaze, served over sweet potato puree with candied bacon. This is... Marcus paused, studying the menu more carefully. This is actually innovative. Thank you, Amara said. The pastry chef, a young white woman named Sarah Mitchell, spoke up. I love this. Southern comfort food elevated to fine dining. That's brilliant. It's risky, Marcus said. Our current clientele expects French and Italian cuisine. This is a major departure. Which is exactly why we need to do it, Amara said. There are 100 restaurants in Atlanta serving French food. How many are serving elevated soul food? How many are telling the story of Southern black cuisine with the respect it deserves? She could see them considering her words. I'm not asking you to trust me yet, Amara said. I'm asking you to give me a chance to prove myself. We'll do a tasting, you try my food. If it's not excellent, we'll go back to the drawing board. Marcus looked at the other kitchen staff. Something passed between them, a silent conversation. All right, Marcus said finally. Show us what you've got, chef. The next 4 hours, Amara cooked. She made every dish on her proposed menu, put every ounce of skill and passion she had into each plate. Marcus and the team watched her work, watched her knife skills, her technique. The way she tasted and adjusted seasonings with the precision of someone who'd been cooking their whole life. When she finally plated the last dish, the prep table looked like art. 6 plates of food that smelled like heaven and looked like something from a magazine. Taste, Amara said simply. They did. Marcus took a bite of the shrimp and grits. His eyes closed. He chewed slowly, thoughtfully. Sarah tried the dessert Amara had added to the menu. Bourbon peach cobbler with brown butter ice cream and candied pecans. She actually moaned. The line cooks tried the fried chicken and the catfish. Looked at each other with surprise. After they'd tasted everything, there was a long moment of silence. Then Marcus said, "I'm sorry." Amara's heart sank. "For what?" "For doubting you," Marcus said. "This food is extraordinary. It's everything you said it would be. Soulful, innovative, perfect." Relief flooded through Amara. "So we're doing this menu." "Hell yes, we're doing this menu," Sarah said, grinning. "Chef, you're the real deal." The first time in months, Amara felt like herself again. Felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. That afternoon, Jordan showed up at the restaurant. Amara was in the kitchen going over prep lists with Marcus when Charlie came in looking flustered. "Chef Winters, Mr. Ross is here to see you," Charlie said. Amara's stomach did a weird flip. She hadn't seen Jordan since she'd signed the contract. He'd kept his distance, communicating only through Marcus Jr. or email. "Tell him I'm busy," Amara said. "He says it's important," Charlie said. "About the restaurant renovations." Amara sighed. "Fine, tell him I'll be out in 5 minutes." She washed her hands, took off her chef's coat, and went out to the dining room. Jordan was standing by the windows, looking out at the Midtown Atlanta skyline. He was wearing a charcoal gray suit that probably cost more than Amara's entire wardrobe. His hair was freshly cut. He looked every inch the billionaire CEO when he turned and saw her. Something shifted in his expression. Softened. "Amara," he said, "thank you for seeing me." Charlie said this was about renovations, Amara said, keeping her voice professional. "What do you need?" "I wanted to discuss the timeline for updating the dining room," Jordan said. "We're planning to close for 2 weeks in July for renovations. New floors, updated lighting, new tables and chairs. I wanted your input on the design." "Would you need my input?" Amara asked. "I'm the chef. The dining room is your domain." "Because you're the one creating art in that kitchen," Jordan said. "The dining room should reflect and enhance what you're doing. It should tell the same story." Despite herself, Amara was touched by that. "What kind of design are you thinking?" she asked. Jordan pulled out his phone and showed her some images. Modern but warm, dark wood and soft lighting. Art on the walls by local black artists, tables with fresh flowers. It was beautiful, elegant but not pretentious. "Love it," Amara admitted. "It's perfect for the new menu." "Good," Jordan said, "because I was hoping you'd help me choose the artwork. I want to feature Atlanta artists, people whose work tells the story of this city." They stood there for a moment, the conversation stalling into awkward silence. "How's your father?" Jordan asked. "He's doing really well," Amara said, her voice warming. "The physical therapy is working. He's walking better every day. His speech is almost back to normal." "I'm glad," Jordan said, and he sounded like he meant it. "Scholarship money," Amara said. "I've enrolled in an advanced pastry course at Le Cordon Bleu's Atlanta campus. Evening classes so I can still work here during the day." "That's wonderful," Jordan said, more awkward silence. Jordan started. "I should get back to the kitchen," Amara interrupted. She couldn't do this. Couldn't stand here making small talk with him like they were friends. "Was there anything else about the renovations?" Jordan's jaw tightened slightly. "No, that was everything." "Then I'll see you around," Amara said and walked back to the kitchen before he could respond. After she left, Jordan stood alone in the dining room, frustrated with himself. He'd wanted to apologize again, to explain himself better, to tell her that he hadn't stopped thinking about her since that day in the rain. But she'd made it clear she wanted nothing to do with him personally. And he had to respect that, even if it was killing him. The next 2 weeks flew by in a blur of preparation. Amara and her team worked 12-hour days perfecting the new menu, testing recipes, adjusting flavors, making sure every dish was flawless. Charlie handled the business side, working with Jordan's team to update the restaurant's marketing. They were planning a soft opening for select food critics and influencers, then a grand reopening to the public. Amara threw herself into work. It was easier than thinking about her complicated feelings about Jordan, easier than wondering if she'd made the right choice accepting his help. She also started her evening classes at Le Cordon Bleu. The pastry course was intense, but Amara loved it, loved learning new techniques, loved pushing herself to be better. Her instructor, Chef Dubois, was a French woman in her 50s who'd worked in Michelin-starred restaurants in Paris and New York. She was tough, demanding, and didn't suffer fools. She also saw something special in Amara. "You have a gift, Miss Winters," Chef Dubois said one evening after class. "Natural instinct combined with technical skill. That's rare." "Thank you, Chef," Amara said. "But you're holding back," Chef Dubois said. "I can see it. You're afraid to take risks." Why? Amara didn't know how to answer that. "Whatever happened to make you afraid?" Chef Dubois said gently. "Don't let it steal your joy for cooking. The world needs your gift. Don't hide it." Those words stayed with Amara. There was another student in the class who'd noticed Amara. A young white woman named Brittany Sinclair, 22 years old, blonde, from a wealthy family in Buckhead. Brittany had graduated from culinary school the previous year and was taking advanced courses to pad her resume before her father bought her a restaurant. She'd taken an instant dislike to Amara. "So you're the scholarship student," Brittany said one evening, her voice dripping with condescension. "How nice that they let people like you take these classes." "People like me?" Amara asked, keeping her voice level. "You know, people who couldn't afford to be here otherwise," Brittany said, smiling sweetly. "It's very generous of the school." Amara wanted to tell her that she'd earned that scholarship, that Jordan Ross himself had offered it, that she was the head chef of a restaurant while Brittany was still playing with Daddy's money, but she bit her tongue. "It is generous," Amara said. "I'm very grateful for the opportunity." She refused to let Brittany get under her skin. At home, things were better than they'd been in months. Amara had moved her father from the rehabilitation facility to her apartment once he was strong enough. With the money she was making as head chef, she'd been able to upgrade to a 2-bedroom apartment in a better area. Terry was walking with just a slight limp now. His left hand still didn't work perfectly, but it was improving every week. His speech was almost back to normal. "Baby girl, this apartment is beautiful," Terry said the day he moved in. "You didn't have to do all this for me." "Of course I did," Amara said. "You're my daddy. Besides, I can actually afford it now." They'd set up the second bedroom for Terry. Amara had bought him a comfortable chair where he could sit and watch TV, had stocked the kitchen with all his favorite foods. For the first time in months, their little family felt whole again, except for the gaping hole where Diane should have been. They didn't talk about Amara's mother. The wound was still too fresh, but late at night, Amara would sometimes hear her father crying quietly in his room, mourning the woman he'd loved for 30 years. The woman who'd abandoned him when he needed her most. Amara tried not to think about her mother, tried to focus on the good things. Her job, her father's recovery, her classes. But sometimes, in quiet moments, she'd wonder where Diane was, if she was okay. If she ever thought about the family she'd left behind. Keisha remained Amara's rock through everything. They'd have dinner together at least twice a week. Keisha would come over and Amara would cook whatever new recipe she was working on. They'd eat and talk and laugh like they'd been doing since they were kids. "So have you seen Mr. Billionaire again?" Keisha asked one evening over braised short ribs and truffle mac and cheese. "His name is Jordan," Amara said. "And no, he stayed away like I asked." "Do you want him to stay away?" Keisha asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yes," Amara said. "Liar," Keisha said. "Girl, I see the way you say his name, you're interested." "I'm not interested," Amara protested. "He lied to me, manipulated me, used me to make himself feel better about his privileged life." "Okay, but did he though?" Keisha asked. "Or was he just a man trying to figure out if people would care about him without his money?" "Whose side are you on?" Amara demanded. "Yours always," Keisha said. "But baby, I also want you to be happy. And I haven't seen you smile the way you smiled when you talked about that man since before your grandmother died." Amara opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Was Keisha right? Did she have feelings for Jordan? No, absolutely not. She couldn't. It would be too complicated, too messy. He was her boss, a billionaire, living in a completely different world, and he'd lied to her. Even if sometimes, late at night, she'd find herself thinking about the way he'd looked at her in the rain. The way his voice had sounded when he'd said, "I'm falling for you, Amara." No, she wasn't going there. The soft opening was scheduled for 3 weeks after Amara started. It was invitation only. Food critics from major publications, Atlanta food bloggers and influencers, business associates of Jordan's. And according to the guest list Charlie showed Amara, Jordan's family would be there too. His father, Marcus Ross Sr., Charlie read off. His brother, Marcus Ross Jr., and a Miss Vanessa Whitmore plus her father, Gerald Whitmore. Who's Vanessa Whitmore? Amara asked. Charlie hesitated. I believe well, the rumor is she's Mr. Ross's fiancée. Amara's stomach dropped. His what? It's not official, Charlie said quickly. But their families have been business partners for years. There's been talk of a merger through marriage. I see, Amara said, her voice carefully neutral. After Charlie left, Amara stood in the kitchen trying to process this information. Jordan had a fiancée, or at least someone his family expected him to marry, and he'd never mentioned it. Why would he? Amara thought bitterly. It's not like we're friends. Not like he owes me any explanations about his personal life, but it stung. More than it should have, which brought us to this morning. The morning of the soft opening, Amara had arrived at 6 a.m. to start prep. The event was scheduled for 7 p.m. and she wanted everything to be perfect. She'd been alone in the kitchen for about an hour when she'd heard the front door open. And then that voice. You think you can just walk into MY World and take what's mine? Amara stared at the woman claiming to be Jordan's fiancée. The diamond ring on her finger, the cold, entitled expression on her face. I don't know who you are, Amara said carefully, but I'm going to need you to leave. This is a private kitchen and we're not open yet. My name is Vanessa Whitmore, the woman said, and I'm not leaving until we have a little chat about Jordan. I have nothing to say about Mr. Ross, Amara said. He's my employer, that's all. Vanessa laughed. It was a cruel, mocking sound. Is that what you tell yourself, that he's just your boss? Because that's the truth, Amara said. Really? Vanessa pulled out her phone and started scrolling. Because I've been doing some research on you, Amara Winters, 27 years old. Graduated from culinary school with massive student loan debt. Father had a stroke. Mother abandoned the family and stole their money. Family restaurant closed. Worked as a waitress at this very establishment before Jordan mysteriously bought it and made you head chef. Each word was like a knife, cutting into Amara's dignity. Quite the Cinderella story, Vanessa continued. Poor girl gets rescued by rich prince. Except this isn't a fairy tale, sweetheart. This is real life. And in real life, girls like you don't get to keep men like Jordan. Amara's hands clenched into fists at her sides. Girls like me. You know what I mean, Vanessa said. You're a project to him, a way to rebel against his family's expectations. But eventually, he'll get bored. He'll realize that playing house with the help is fun for a while, but it's not real life. I'm not playing house with anyone, Amara said, her voice rising despite her best efforts to stay calm. I'm working, building my career. Mr. Ross and I have a professional relationship, nothing more. Then why did he spend 2 weeks dressed as a homeless man? Vanessa asked. Why did he sit on street corners in the rain testing people? Why did he target you specifically? I don't know what you're talking about, Amara said, though her stomach was churning. He didn't tell you. Vanessa's smile widened. Of course he didn't. Jordan has been running from his responsibilities for years. His father wants him to marry me, to merge our family's businesses, to do what's right for the Ross legacy, but Jordan doesn't want to be told what to do, so he ran away, played dress-up as a homeless person, looking for what? True love, someone who'd care about him without knowing about his money. She laughed again. And he found you, Vanessa continued. Sweet, naive Amara who gave him her last $100, who believed his act, who made him feel like a good person for once in his privileged life. Every word felt like a slap, but Amara refused to show how much it hurt. Even if that's true, Amara said quietly, it doesn't change the fact that I'm here to work, not to be part of whatever drama you and Jordan have going on. You are part of it now, Vanessa said. Don't you see? By accepting his help, by taking this job, by existing in his orbit, you've made yourself a part of his story. And I'm here to tell you that this story doesn't end with you winning. I'm not trying to win anything, Amara said. Good, Vanessa said. Because you can't. Jordan and I have known each other since college. Our families have been planning this marriage for years. We're the same kind of people. We understand each other's world. You're a distraction, a phase, something he'll look back on and laugh about with his real friends. Amara wanted to scream, to throw this woman out of her kitchen, to tell her that she didn't care about Jordan, didn't want him, didn't need any of this. But before she could say anything, a voice came from the doorway. Vanessa, what are you doing here? Both women turned to see Jordan standing in the entrance to the kitchen. He was in jeans and a t-shirt, clearly having just arrived. His expression was thunderous. Jordan, darling. Vanessa's entire demeanor changed. Her voice went soft and sweet. She walked toward him, reaching out to touch his arm. I was just introducing myself to your new chef. We were having a lovely conversation. Jordan's eyes moved to Amara. She could see the question in them. Are you okay? Amara gave a tiny shake of her head. Jordan's jaw tightened. Vanessa, step outside with me. Now. I haven't finished talking to. Now, Jordan repeated, his voice leaving no room for argument. Vanessa gave Amara one last smile. We'll finish this conversation later. Then she walked out, Jordan following close behind. Amara stood alone in the kitchen, her hands shaking. She walked to the sink and splashed cold water on her face, trying to calm down. The door opened again. Amara turned, expecting to see Jordan. Instead, it was Marcus, her sous chef. Chef, are you all right? Marcus asked, concern on his face. I just saw Mr. Ross and some blonde woman having a heated conversation outside. Did something happen? Nothing I can't handle, Amara said, though her voice shook slightly. That woman, Marcus said. She looked familiar. Wait, that was Vanessa Whitmore. Her family owns half the commercial real estate in Buckhead. Apparently she's also Jordan's fiancée, Amara said. Marcus's eyebrows shot up. Is that right? According to her, Amara said. Marcus said. Well, for what it's worth, Mr. Ross doesn't look at her the way he looks at you. Amara's head snapped up. What's that supposed to mean? Come on, chef, Marcus said gently. I've been watching him watch you for 3 weeks. The man is gone for you, completely smitten. That's ridiculous, Amara said. We barely speak. Exactly, Marcus said. Because you made it clear you want to keep things professional, but that doesn't stop him from finding excuses to come by the restaurant. From asking me how you're doing. From his face lighting up every time someone mentions your name. Amara didn't know what to say to that. Just, be careful, chef, Marcus said. Rich people's drama has a way of hurting regular people, and you're too good to get caught up in someone else's mess. After Marcus left, Amara tried to focus on prep work, but her hands were still shaking. 20 minutes later, Jordan came back into the kitchen. Alone. Amara, I'm so sorry, he said immediately. Vanessa had no right to come here, no right to speak to you that way. It true? Amara asked, not looking at him. Are you engaged to her? No, Jordan said firmly. I'm not engaged to anyone. She has a ring, Amara said. A ring her father gave her, Jordan said. A ring that I never approved of, never agreed to. My family and the Whitmores have an arrangement, or they want one. But I've made it clear I'm not marrying Vanessa. She know that? Amara asked. Jordan sighed. Vanessa hears what she wants to hear. She's convinced that eventually I'll come around, that I'll do what our families want. Will you? Amara asked, finally looking at him. No, Jordan said. I told you before, I'm not living my life according to someone else's plan. I watched that kill my mother. I won't let it control me too. They stood there, the air heavy between them. What did she say to you? Jordan asked quietly. That I'm a project, Amara said. A distraction, a phase you'll get over. Jordan stepped closer. You're not any of those things. Then what am I? Amara asked, her voice breaking slightly. Because I don't know anymore, Jordan. I don't know if I'm your employee or your charity case or your rebellion against your family or what. You're the woman I can't stop thinking about, Jordan said softly. The woman who gave her last $100 to a stranger. The woman who's so talented it takes my breath away. The woman who makes me want to be better than I am. Amara's heart was pounding. Jordan, no, you said to keep things professional, Jordan said. And I've tried, God, I've tried, but Amara, I need you to know that what I feel for you isn't pity, it's not guilt, it's not some rebellion against my family. Then what is it? Amara whispered. Jordan stepped even closer. They were inches apart now. Amara could feel the heat radiating from his body. It's the closest thing to real I've felt in years, Jordan said. Maybe ever. Amara wanted to step back. Wanted to maintain the professional distance she'd worked so hard to keep, but she couldn't move. Your family will never accept me, she said quietly. I don't care, Jordan said. Vanessa will make my life hell, Amara said. I'll handle Vanessa, Jordan said. I'm not like the women you usually date, Amara said. I don't know your world, I don't fit in it. Good, Jordan said. Because my world needs someone like you, someone real. Someone who isn't afraid to tell the truth. He reached out and gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His fingers lingered on her cheek. I'm terrified, Amara admitted. Terrified of trusting you, terrified of getting hurt, terrified that Vanessa is right and I'm just a phase. You're not a phase, Jordan said. The kitchen door swung open. Marcus stuck his head in, then froze when he saw them standing so close together. Oh, sorry, chef, I'll come back later. Disappeared as quickly as he'd appeared. Amara stepped back, the spell broken. I should finish prep, she said. The soft opening is tonight and everything needs to be perfect. Amara, please, Jordan, Amara said. I can't do this right now. I can't think about. Whatever this is between us, I need to focus on the food, on doing my job, on proving that I earned this position. Jordan looked like he wanted to argue, but he nodded. Okay, he said. But Amara, this conversation isn't over. After he left, Amara leaned against the prep table, her heart still racing. What was she doing? She couldn't fall for Jordan Ross. It was insane, impossible, and yet, she couldn't deny that something was growing between them, something powerful and terrifying and completely inappropriate. By 7 p.m., the restaurant was transformed. Soft lighting cast a warm glow over the dining room. Fresh flowers adorned every table. The new artwork Jordan had chosen, pieces by local Black Atlanta artists, hung on the walls, vibrant and beautiful, and the kitchen was ready. Amara had changed into her chef's whites. Her hair was pulled back in a neat bun. She'd given herself a pep talk in the bathroom mirror. This was her moment. Her chance to prove she belonged here. The guests started arriving. Through the kitchen window, Amara could see them. Atlanta's food elite. Critics whose reviews could make or break a restaurant. Influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers. And Jordan's family, Marcus Ross Sr., was impossible to miss. 64 years old, imposing in a three-piece suit with the same sharp features as Jordan but harder. Colder, next to him, was Jordan's younger brother, Marcus Jr. 28, charming smile, easier demeanor than his father but still carrying the Ross family confidence. And Vanessa, back again, this time on the arm of an older man who must be her father. She was wearing a red dress that probably cost more than a month of Amara's salary. She looked like she owned the place. Amara turned away from the window. Focus, she told herself. Just focus on the food. The first course went out. Amuse-bouche, sweet potato bisque shots with cinnamon cream and candied bacon. Then the appetizers, the shrimp and grits that had won over her staff. Deviled eggs with smoked salmon and caviar. Fried green tomatoes with comeback sauce. In the kitchen, Amara worked like a conductor leading an orchestra, calling out orders, checking every plate, making sure everything was perfect. Order up, table 4, 2 shrimp and grits, 1 fried green tomatoes. Yes, chef. Marcus, that sauce is too thin, reduce it more. On it, chef. The kitchen was chaos, but it was beautiful chaos, organized, efficient. A well-oiled machine. Through it all, Amara was in her element. This was where she belonged. This was what she was born to do. The entrees went out. Braised oxtails, pan-seared catfish, the fried chicken that had made Sarah moan during the tasting, and then dessert, bourbon peach cobbler, sweet potato cheesecake, chocolate chess pie with whiskey caramel. When the last dessert plate went out, Amara finally let herself breathe. They'd done it. Every dish had been perfect. Every plate beautiful. Chef, Marcus said, grinning. We absolutely crushed it. Kitchen staff was high-fiving, celebrating. Celebrate yet, Amara said, though she was smiling. Let's see what the critics say. As if on cue, Charlie came into the kitchen. Chef Winters, he said, beaming. The guests are asking for you. They want to meet the chef. Amara's stomach flipped. Now, right now, Charlie said. And chef, they're raving. I've never seen anything like it. People are crying over your food. Amara followed Charlie out into the dining room, her heart pounding. The guests turned to look at her. For a moment, Amara felt exposed, vulnerable. Then someone started clapping, then someone else. Within seconds, the entire room was giving her a standing ovation. Amara stood there, overwhelmed, as Atlanta's food elite applauded her cooking. A woman approached. Dr. Simone Jackson, food critic for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Her reviews were legendary. A good review from Dr. Jackson could make a restaurant. A bad review could destroy it. Chef Winters, Dr. Jackson said, extending her hand. That was one of the most extraordinary meals I've had in my 30 years of reviewing restaurants. Thank you, Amara said, shaking her hand. That means everything. You're doing something revolutionary here, Dr. Jackson continued. Taking Southern soul food and elevating it without losing its heart, without stripping away what makes it special. That shrimp and grits. I tasted your grandmother's love in every bite. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Other guests came up to congratulate her, to ask about her recipes, to tell her how her food had moved them. And then Jordan's father approached. Marcus Ross Sr. studied Amara with sharp, calculating eyes. So you're the chef my son has been raving about, Marcus Sr. said. Yes, sir, Amara said. I'm honored to be cooking for you. Food was excellent, Marcus Sr. said. It sounded like an admission he didn't want to make. Unconventional but excellent. Thank you, sir. How did you and Jordan meet? Marcus Sr. asked. Amara hesitated. She could feel Jordan watching from across the room. I gave him directions once, Amara said carefully. He remembered me when this position opened up. It wasn't exactly a lie, just not the whole truth. Marcus Sr.'s eyes narrowed slightly, like he knew there was more to the story. I see, he said. Well, keep up the good work, Chef Winters. Atlanta needs more restaurants like this. He walked away before Amara could respond. Then Vanessa appeared. Congratulations, Vanessa said, her smile not reaching her eyes. The food was competent. Thank you, Amara said evenly. Don't let it go to your head, Vanessa said quietly so only Amara could hear. One good meal doesn't make you special, and it certainly doesn't make you good enough for Jordan. Before Amara could respond, Jordan himself appeared at her elbow. Vanessa, I think your father is looking for you, Jordan said, his voice cold, Vanessa's smile tight. Of course. Enjoy your evening, Jordan, Chef Winters. She walked away, hips swaying in that red dress. Are you okay? Jordan asked Amara quietly. I'm fine, Amara said, and I need to get back to the kitchen. Amara, about what I said earlier. Not now, Jordan, Amara said. Please, let me just enjoy this moment without complications. Jordan studied her face for a long moment, then nodded. You were incredible tonight, he said. I hope you know that. Thank you, Amara said softly. She went back to the kitchen, her emotions in turmoil. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. More compliments, more congratulations. Food critics asking for interviews. By the time the last guest left at midnight, Amara was exhausted. She sent her kitchen staff home and started the closing tasks herself. Cleaning, organizing, prepping for tomorrow. She was scrubbing down the prep station when she heard footsteps behind her. You should have gone home hours ago, Jordan's voice said. Amara didn't turn around. I needed to finish this. Your staff can finish it tomorrow, Jordan said. Like doing it myself, Amara said. It helps me think. Jordan walked closer. What are you thinking about? Amara finally turned to face him. About how 3 months ago I was broke and hopeless, and now I'm a head chef at a successful restaurant. About how none of this feels real. It's real, Jordan said. You earned every bit of it. I though? Amara asked. Or did I just get lucky? Lucky that you decided to play homeless man on the day I walked by. Lucky that you felt guilty enough to give me a second chance. Stop, Jordan said firmly. Stop diminishing what you've accomplished. The food tonight was extraordinary. That was all you, your talent, your vision, your grandmother's recipes reimagined by your brilliant mind. I just gave you the opportunity, you did the rest. Amara wanted to believe him. Vanessa said something earlier, Amara said quietly. She said I'm a distraction, a way for you to rebel against your family. Vanessa doesn't know what she's talking about, Jordan said, doesn't she? Amara asked. Your father wants you to marry her, merge the families, and instead you're here buying restaurants and hearing chefs from the street. Doesn't that sound like rebellion to you? Jordan stepped closer until they were face to face. You want to know the truth? Jordan asked. The whole truth? Yes, Amara whispered. I started this as an experiment, Jordan said. A way to escape my life for a while, to test whether kindness still existed. But the moment you gave me that $100, everything changed, because you saw me. Not as a project or a charity case. You saw me as a human being worth helping. He reached out and gently took her hand. And then I got to know you, Jordan continued. Got to see your strength, your talent, your compassion, the way you sacrificed everything for your father without a second thought, the way you light up when you talk about cooking. And I realized that what started as an experiment had become something real. Jordan, Amara started. I'm falling in love with you, Amara, Jordan said. I know it's complicated. I know my family is a nightmare. I know Vanessa is going to make things difficult, but I can't keep pretending I don't feel this. Amara's heart was racing so fast she thought it might burst out of her chest. I'm scared, she admitted. So am I, Jordan said. Terrified, because I've never felt like this before. Never met someone who makes me want to be better, who challenges me, who sees through all the money and the name to who I really am. They stood there, hands clasped, the air between them electric. What if it doesn't work? Amara asked. What if your family destroys this? What if Vanessa was right and we're too different? Then at least we'll know we tried, Jordan said. At least we'll know it was real. Amara looked into his eyes, saw the vulnerability there, the hope, and she made a decision. One date, Amara said. One real date. No business talk, no restaurant, just you and me. Jordan's face lit up like she'd just given him the greatest gift in the world. One date, he agreed. When? Tomorrow, Amara said. I have the day off. You're picking me up at 7 p.m. and Jordan, don't send a driver, come yourself. I will, Jordan promised. He lifted her hand to his lips and kissed it gently. Then he left before either of them could change their minds. Amara stood alone in the kitchen, her hand still tingling from his kiss. What had she just agreed to? The next evening, Amara stood in front of her closet, panicking. "Have nothing to wear," she wailed to Keisha, who'd come over to help her get ready. "Girl, you have plenty to wear," Keisha said, scrolling through the closet. "What kind of date is this? Fancy restaurant, casual?" "I have no idea," Amara said. "He just said to dress comfortable." Comfortable for a billionaire could mean anything, Keisha muttered. They finally settled on dark jeans, a soft cream-colored blouse, and Amara's nicest ankle boots. Simple but put together. "You look beautiful," Keisha said, stepping back to admire her work. She'd helped Amara with her makeup and hair, nothing dramatic, just enough to enhance Amara's natural beauty. "Feel like I'm going to throw up," Amara admitted. "That's just nerves," Keisha said. "You like this man, it's okay to be nervous." "What if it's a disaster?" Amara asked. "What if we have nothing to talk about outside of work?" "Then you'll find out now instead of later," Keisha said practically. "But Amara, I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen the way you two look at each other. There's something real there." At exactly 7 p.m. there was a knock at the door. Amara's father was in the living room reading the newspaper. He'd insisted on being there to meet Jordan. "I got it, Daddy," Amara said. She opened the door to find Jordan standing there, and her breath caught. He was wearing jeans and a simple black button-up shirt. No suit, no tie, just Jordan, looking nervous and handsome and real. "Hi," Jordan said. "Hi," Amara said. They stared at each other for a moment. Terry cleared his throat from the living room. "Right," Amara said. "Jordan, this is my father, Terrence Winters. Daddy, this is Jordan Ross." Jordan walked into the apartment and extended his hand to Terry. "Mr. Winters, it's an honor to meet you," Jordan said. "Your daughter talks about you all the time." Terry shook his hand, studying Jordan with a father's protective eye. "So you're the young man who gave my baby girl a job," Terry said. "The young man who gave her an opportunity." Jordan corrected gently. "She earned everything else herself," Terry smiled. "Good answer, Amara, baby, you have your phone." "Yes, Daddy." "You'll be home by midnight." "Daddy, I'm 27, Amara protested. "And you're my baby girl," Terry said. "Midnight or I'm sending Keisha to find you." "Have her home by midnight, sir," Jordan promised. They left the apartment, both of them smiling. "Your father is great," Jordan said as they walked to the parking lot. "He's protective," Amara said. "After everything with my mom, he worries." Jordan led her to a car. "Not a limo, not a Bentley, a regular black Tesla." "You drove yourself," Amara noted. "You said to," Jordan reminded her. "I follow instructions well." He opened the passenger door for her. Amara climbed in, butterflies dancing in her stomach. "So where are we going?" Amara asked as Jordan started the car. "You'll see," Jordan said, smiling mysteriously. They drove through Atlanta, heading east, away from Buckhead's mansions and Midtown's restaurants. 20 minutes later, they pulled up to a place that made Amara laugh with delight. "Krog Street Market," she said. "I figured a fancy restaurant didn't make sense," Jordan said. "You cook in one every day. I wanted to take you somewhere more real." They walked through the market, a converted warehouse now filled with local vendors, restaurants, and shops. It was bustling with people, families, couples, friends. Nobody paid any attention to Jordan. Nobody recognized the billionaire CEO wandering around in jeans. "What are you hungry for?" Jordan asked. "Everything," Amara admitted. They got tacos from one vendor, loaded fries from another, bubble tea, gelato. They sat at a communal table, eating and talking and laughing. "Tell me something about you that I don't know," Amara said. "Something real," Jordan thought for a moment. "I wanted to be a teacher." "Really?" "Yeah," Jordan said. "In college, before the family business pulled me in. I thought about teaching history. I loved learning about how people lived in the past, how societies changed, but my father said teaching was a waste of my education." "Do you regret not doing it?" Amara asked. "Sometimes," Jordan admitted. "But then I think about the impact I can have running the hotels, the jobs we create, the communities we invest in. It's not teaching, but it matters." "What period of history?" Amara asked. "Civil rights era," Jordan said. "The 1950s and 60s. My great-grandfather was part of it. Opened that first hotel when black people couldn't stay anywhere decent, gave them a safe place, dignity. I always thought that was incredible." Amara smiled. "I like learning this about you." "Your turn," Jordan said. "Tell me something I don't know." "I'm terrified of failure," Amara admitted. "Every single day in that kitchen I'm afraid I'm going to mess up, that I'll prove everyone right who said I didn't deserve the job. You know that's not rational, right?" Jordan said gently. I know, Amara said, but I can't help it. When you grow up the way I did, watching your parents struggle, watching your dreams almost die, you learn that security is fragile, that everything can be taken away in a moment. Jordan reached across the table and took her hand. I can't promise that nothing will ever go wrong, Jordan said, but I can promise that I believe in you, that I see your talent, and that job is yours because you earned it, not because of any other reason. They finished eating and walked through the market. Jordan bought her a bouquet of flowers from a local vendor. They looked at art, listened to a street musician playing guitar. It was the most normal, perfect date Amara had ever had. Can I take you somewhere else? Jordan asked. Sure, Amara said. They drove to Piedmont Park. The sun was setting, casting golden light across the Atlanta skyline. They walked through the park, past families having picnics, dogs playing, couples holding hands. This is where I come when I need to think, Jordan said. When the business gets too heavy, when my family gets too demanding, I come here and remember that there's a whole world outside of boardrooms and mergers. They found a bench overlooking the lake, sat down side by side. Amara, Jordan said quietly, I need to tell you something about Vanessa, about my family. Okay, Amara said. My father has given me an ultimatum, Jordan said. Marry Vanessa and merge the families. Or he'll call a board meeting and vote me out as CEO. Amara's stomach dropped. He can do that. He controls 40% of the voting shares, Jordan said. And he has allies on the board who will vote with him. If he wants me gone, I'm gone. When is this board meeting? Amara asked. 6 weeks, Jordan said. Unless I agree to the engagement. What are you going to do? Amara asked. Jordan turned to face her fully. I'm going to fight. I'm going to prove to the board that I'm the right person to lead this company, that I can increase profits and expand the business without selling my personal life to do it. If you can't, Amara asked, then I walk away, Jordan said simply. I'd rather lose the company than spend my life with someone I don't love. Jordan, that's your family legacy, Amara said. You can't just walk away, can, Jordan said. And I will if it means I get to choose my own life. Choose my own future, choose. He paused. Choose you, Amara's breath caught. You don't even know me, not really, we've been on one date. I know enough, Jordan said. I know you're the first person in years who's made me feel like myself, who challenges me to be better, who sees me, not my bank account or my last name. This is crazy, Amara whispered. Maybe, Jordan agreed. But sometimes the best things are a little crazy. He cupped her face gently in his hands. Not asking you to fix this for me, Jordan said. I'm not asking you to save me or fight my battles. I just need you to know that you matter to me, more than the company, more than my family's approval, more than anything. Amara felt tears prick her eyes. I'm scared, she admitted. Scared of how fast this is moving. Scared of Vanessa and your father and everything that comes with being in your life. Scared too, Jordan said. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away if she wanted, she didn't. Their lips met in a kiss that was soft and sweet and full of promise. When they pulled apart, both of them were smiling. This complicates everything, Amara said. I know, Jordan said. Your family is going to hate me, Amara said. Probably, Jordan agreed. Vanessa is going to make my life hell, Amara said. Definitely, Jordan said. So why does this feel right? Amara asked. Because it is right, Jordan said. Sometimes the right thing and the easy thing aren't the same, but that doesn't make it less right. They sat on that bench until the sun fully set and the Atlanta city lights began to twinkle in the distance. Then Jordan drove Amara home, holding her hand the entire way. At her door, he kissed her again. This time a little longer, a little deeper. Good night, Amara, Jordan said. Good night, Jordan, Amara said. She walked into the apartment, her heart full and terrified all at once. Her father was still up, waiting. How was the date, baby girl? Terry asked. Amara sat down next to him on the couch. Daddy, she said. I think I'm falling in love with him. Terry smiled and put his arm around his daughter. I know, baby, I saw it in your eyes when you looked at him. What do I do? Amara asked. His life is so complicated. His family wants him to marry someone else. There's so much standing in the way. Love is always complicated, Terry said. Your mama and I, we had our struggles, our differences, but for a long time we had real love, and that love was worth fighting for. Even though she left, Amara asked. Terry sighed. Even though she left, because those good years, they gave me you, and you, baby girl, are worth every bit of heartbreak that came after. Amara hugged her father tight. Just promise me one thing, Terry said. What's that? Don't sacrifice yourself for him the way you did for me, Terry said. Don't give up your dreams or your identity. If he's the right man, he'll love you for exactly who you are, and he'll support your dreams, not ask you to give them up. I promise, Daddy, Amara said. That night, Amara lay in bed, unable to sleep. Her phone buzzed with a text from Jordan. Thank you for tonight, for giving me a chance. Sweet dreams, Amara. She smiled and typed back. Thank you for showing me your real self. See you tomorrow at the restaurant, boss. Please don't call me boss after I just kissed you. What should I call you then? How about Jordan? Or if you're feeling generous, the man who can't stop thinking about you, Amara laughed. Good night, Jordan. Good night, beautiful. She fell asleep with a smile on her face, but she had no idea that miles away in a Buckhead penthouse, Vanessa Whitmore was planning her next move. And it was going to change everything. Vanessa sat in her penthouse scrolling through photos on her phone, photos of Jordan and Amara from earlier that evening. Holding hands at Krog Street Market, kissing in Piedmont Park. She'd hired a private investigator to follow them, to document everything. Perfect, Vanessa said to herself. She made a phone call. Hello? A woman's voice answered. Is this Diane Winters? Vanessa asked. There was a pause. Who's asking? My name is Vanessa Whitmore. I'm a businesswoman here in Atlanta. I've been trying to track you down, Mrs. Winters. I have a business proposition that I think you'll find very interesting. Don't know what you're talking about, Diane said. I know where you've been for the past 8 months, Vanessa said. I know about the gambling debts. I know you're hiding in a motel in Marietta, working under the table at a diner, trying to stay off the grid. Silence. Do you know all that? Diane asked, her voice shaking. Have resources, Vanessa said. And I'm willing to use those resources to help you, pay off your debts, get you back on your feet. All you have to do is one small thing for me, Diane asked suspiciously. Help me separate your daughter from a man who's using her, Vanessa said. A man named Jordan Ross. I don't know anyone named Jordan Ross, Diane said. But your daughter does, Vanessa said. And he's manipulating her, using her. He's a billionaire, Mrs. Winters, and your daughter is his latest project. His charity case. When he gets bored, he'll destroy her. I'm trying to protect her. Would you care about protecting my daughter? Diane asked. Because Jordan Ross is my fiancé, Vanessa lied smoothly, and I can't let him ruin another woman's life with his games. There was a long pause. What do you want me to do? Diane finally asked. Vanessa smiled. I want you to come back to Atlanta to reconnect with your daughter. When the time is right, to help her see that Jordan Ross isn't the man she thinks he is. You'll pay off my debts? Diane asked. Every penny, Vanessa promised. $60,000 gone, plus enough money for you to start fresh. All you have to do is help me save your daughter from making a terrible mistake. Diane was quiet for a long moment then. When do I come back? Soon, Vanessa said. Very soon. I'll be in touch with details. She hung up and smiled at her reflection in the penthouse window. Jordan thought he could choose some nobody chef over her, over the Whitmore family, over everything their families had built together. He was about to learn a very painful lesson. Meanwhile, at Ross Continental headquarters, Marcus Ross Sr. was having a meeting with his younger son. Has your brother lost his mind? Marcus Sr. asked Marcus Jr. He's just going through something, Dad, Marcus Jr. said carefully. Going through something, Marcus Sr. repeated. He bought a restaurant, hired some girl with no experience to run it, and now he's dadding her. This is embarrassing for the family. The restaurant is actually doing really well, Marcus Jr. pointed out. The soft opening got incredible reviews. That girl with no experience is a trained chef who's bringing in reservations like crazy. That's not the point, Marcus Sr. said. The point is that Jordan is supposed to be focused on the business, on marrying Vanessa, on doing what's right for this family. Maybe Jordan has a different idea of what's right, Marcus Jr. suggested. Marcus Sr.'s eyes narrowed. Are you defending him? Saying that maybe we should let him live his own life, Marcus Jr. said. He's 32 years old, Dad. He's proven himself as CEO. Maybe it's time to let him make his own choices. His choices are affecting this entire family, Marcus Sr. said. Gerald Whitmore called me this morning. Vanessa is humiliated. The merger is in jeopardy. All because Jordan is chasing some waitress. She's not a waitress anymore, Marcus Jr. said. She's a head chef, and from what I've seen, she's exactly what Jordan needs. Someone real, someone who isn't impressed by his money. Someone completely inappropriate for our family, Marcus Sr. said flatly. Because she's not rich, Marcus Jr. asked. Because she had to work for everything she has. Because she doesn't understand our world, Marcus Sr. said. Because a relationship with her would be a distraction Jordan can't afford right now. Or maybe, Marcus Jr. said carefully. She's exactly what Jordan needs to remember why we do this, why we work so hard. It's not just about money and power and mergers, Dad. It's about building something meaningful, something that matters. Marcus Sr. stared at his younger son. Defending her because you agree with Jordan, Marcus Sr. said. You think he should throw away everything we've built for some girl he barely knows? I think he should be happy, Marcus Jr. said. I think after what happened to Mom, we owe him that much. The mention of Caroline Ross made Marcus Sr. flinch. Bring your mother into this, Marcus Sr. said quietly. Why not? Marcus Jr. asked. She's the reason Jordan is fighting this so hard. He watched you control her life until it literally killed her. You think he's going to let you do the same to him? Marcus Sr. stood up abruptly. This conversation is over. The board meeting is in 6 weeks. Jordan either comes to his senses by then or I'm voting him out. And I expect you to vote with me. If I don't, Marcus Jr. asked, then you'll be choosing your brother over your family legacy, Marcus Sr. said. Think very carefully about that choice, son. He walked out, leaving Marcus Jr. alone in the office. Marcus Jr. pulled out his phone and called Jordan. Hey, what's up? Jordan answered. We need to talk, Marcus Jr. said. Dad is serious about the board vote. And Vanessa is up to something. I don't know what, but she's been making phone calls, looking into Amara's background. Handle Vanessa, Jordan said. Jordan, you need to be careful, Marcus Jr. said. I'm on your side, but Dad has a lot of power. If he really wants you out, he can make it happen. Then I'll fight, Jordan said. And if I lose, but I'm not giving up Amara. You really care about her, Marcus Jr. said. It wasn't a question. I really do, Jordan said. Then protect her, Marcus Jr. warned. Because Vanessa isn't going to play fair, and when she strikes, it's going to hurt. At her apartment, Amara was getting ready for bed when her phone rang, unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello, Amara, a voice said. A voice Amara hadn't heard in 8 months, her mother's voice. Amara's entire body went cold. Mom, she whispered. Baby, it's me, Diane said. I know I don't have the right to call. I know I don't deserve to even speak to you, but I need you to listen to me. Where are you? Amara demanded. Do you have any idea what you did to us, to Daddy? I know, Diane said, her voice breaking. I know, and I'm so sorry. I'm in Atlanta. I want to see you to explain everything. There's nothing to explain, Amara said, tears streaming down her face. You stole from us. You abandoned Daddy when he needed you most. You destroyed our family. I had a problem, Diane said. A gambling problem. I got in over my head and I was ashamed. I thought if I just left, you and your daddy would be better off without me. You thought wrong, Amara said. We needed you, I needed you. I know, Diane sobbed. And I'm trying to make it right. I'm getting help. I'm paying back the money I took. And I want to see you, please, baby. Give me one chance to explain. Amara wanted to hang up, wanted to tell her mother to never call again. But a part of her, the part that was still that little girl who'd loved her mama, wanted answers. One meeting, Amara said. That's all you get. Thank you, Diane said. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, there's a coffee shop on Peachtree, Java Jive. Can you meet me there at 2 p.m.? I'll be there, Amara said. But Mom, if this is some kind of game, if you're going to hurt me again, I swear I'll never speak to you for the rest of my life. It's not a game, Diane promised. I just want to see my daughter, to try to fix what I broke. After they hung up, Amara sat on her bed, shaking. Her mother was back. After 8 months of silence, Diane was suddenly back in Atlanta. Amara should have felt relieved, or angry, or something. Instead, she just felt afraid, because her life was finally coming together. She had her dream job. Her father was healing, and she was falling in love with Jordan, and her mother's return felt like a storm cloud on the horizon. Like everything good, was about to fall apart. After her first date with Jordan, Amara woke up feeling like she was living in a dream. For the first time in months, maybe years, she felt genuinely happy. Her father was healing. Her career was taking off. The restaurant reviews from the soft opening had been incredible. Dr. Simone Jackson from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution had written a glowing piece calling Amara the most exciting culinary talent Atlanta has seen in a decade. Jordan. Sweet, complicated, wonderful Jordan who'd kissed her goodnight and made her believe that maybe, just maybe, she deserved something good. But then she remembered the phone call. Her mother was back in Atlanta, wanted to meet, wanted to explain. Amara had tossed and turned all night, trying to decide if she should even show up to that meeting. What do you think I should do, Daddy? Amara asked over breakfast. Her father was doing so much better now. He could walk with just a slight limp. His left hand was regaining strength. His speech was almost completely normal. Terry took a sip of his coffee, considering his daughter's question carefully. "Your mama hurt us," Terry said slowly. "She hurt us bad, took our money, left when I was at my lowest. I'm not going to lie to you, baby girl. Part of me wishes I never had to see her again," Amara prompted. "But she's still your mama," Terry said. "And you're going to spend the rest of your life wondering, what if, unless you hear what she has to say. It doesn't mean you have to forgive her. Doesn't mean you have to let her back into your life, but at least you'll know the truth." Amara nodded slowly. "Will you be okay me seeing her?" Terry reached across the table and squeezed his daughter's hand with his good hand. "Baby, I want you to do whatever brings you peace. Your mama and I, that's between us. But you and her, that's your relationship. You handle it however you need to." At 1:30 p.m., Amara left the apartment and took the MARTA train to Midtown. The coffee shop Java Jive was a small place on Peachtree Street, tucked between a bookstore and a yoga studio. Amara arrived 15 minutes early. She ordered a green tea she didn't really want and sat at a table by the window, watching people walk by. Her phone buzzed with a text from Jordan. "Are you today, beautif?" Despite her nerves about seeing her mother, Amara smiled. "Nervous? Meeting someone important today. Company, moral support. No, but thank you. This is something I need to do alone." "Understood. But I'm one phone call away if you need me. Remember that." "Will, thank you, Jordan." At exactly 2 p.m., the door to the coffee shop opened and Diane Winters walked in. Amara's breath caught in her throat. Her mother looked different, thinner, older. She'd always been a beautiful woman, but now there were deep lines around her eyes and mouth. Her hair, which she used to keep perfectly styled, was pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore jeans and a plain sweater. No jewelry, no makeup. She looked broken. Diane's eyes scanned the coffee shop until they landed on Amara. Her face crumpled, tears immediately filling her eyes. "Amara," Diane whispered. Amara didn't stand up, didn't move, just watched as her mother walked over to the table. "Can I sit?" Diane asked. "That's why we're here, isn't it?" Amara said, her voice colder than she intended. Diane sat down across from her daughter. Up close, Amara could see how much her mother had changed. The woman who'd always been so put together, so concerned with appearances, looked like she'd been through hell. Good, a petty part of Amara thought. "She deserves it. Thank you for coming," Diane said. "I wasn't sure you would." "I almost didn't," Amara admitted. "The only reason I'm here is because I need answers. I need to understand how you could do what you did." Diane nodded, wiping tears from her eyes. "I owe you that. I owe you so much more than that, but answers are a start." She took a shaky breath. "Been a gambler for 15 years, Diane said. "It started small, scratch-off tickets at the gas station. Then the casino opened up in Alabama and your daddy and I would go sometimes for fun. But for me, it stopped being fun. It became an addiction." Amara listened, her hands clenched tightly around her teacup. "I would tell your daddy I was going to the grocery store," Diane continued. "But instead, I'd drive to the casino. I'd tell him I was meeting friends for lunch, but I was really at poker games. I got good at lying, too good," Amara asked. "Why did you do it? We weren't rich, but we were doing okay. We were happy. What were you trying to escape?" Diane's face twisted with pain. "I was trying to escape myself, escape the feeling that I'd made all the wrong choices in life. I married young, had you young. I love your daddy, I do. But I always felt like I'd missed out on something, like there was some other life I was supposed to be living." "So you gambled away our future because you were bored?" Amara asked, anger rising in her voice. "I gambled because I was broken," Diane said, "because I hated myself. And the more I gambled, the worse it got. I started losing, a lot. I took out credit cards your daddy didn't know about, maxed them out. Then I started taking money from the restaurant account." Amara felt sick to her stomach. "How much?" "Over 2 years. About $80,000, Diane admitted. Amara's eyes went wide. "80,000, Mama, how did we not notice?" "I was good at hiding it," Diane said miserably. "I'd take small amounts, cover it with fake expenses. Your daddy trusted me with the books. He never checked my work. Why would he? I was his wife." "Then?" Amara prompted. "And then your daddy had his stroke," Diane said, fresh tears flowing. "And I realized what I'd done. The restaurant was already struggling because of the money I'd taken. We couldn't afford good insurance because I'd let policies lapse to have more gambling money. When he had the stroke and needed treatment we couldn't afford, I knew it was my fault." "So you ran," Amara said flatly. "I panicked," Diane said. "I had creditors calling, people I owed money to, dangerous people." One of them threatened to come to the restaurant, threatened to hurt your daddy if I didn't pay, so I took that last 30,000 and I ran, I thought. I thought if I disappeared, they'd leave you and your daddy alone. They, Amara asked. Eventually, Diane said, I paid them back. It took 8 months, but I paid them back. With what money? Amara asked. You took everything we had. Diane looked down at her hands. Someone helped me. Who? A woman named Vanessa Whitmore, Diane said. The name hit Amara like a punch to the gut. Amara said, her voice sharp. She found me about a month ago, Diane said. I was working at a diner in Marietta, hiding from my creditors. She showed up one day and said she wanted to help me. She paid off all my debts, $60,000, just like that. Amara's heart was pounding. And what did she want in return? Diane hesitated. She wanted me to come back to Atlanta to reconnect with you. She said you were getting involved with her fiancé and she was worried he was using you. She said she wanted to protect you. You believed her? Amara asked incredulously. I wanted to, Diane said. I wanted to believe I could come back and fix things, that I could be your mama again. Vanessa said all I had to do was meet with you, talk to you about this Jordan Ross person, and help you see that he might not be who you think he is. Amara stood up abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Several people in the coffee shop turned to look. Been played, Mama, Amara said, her voice shaking. Vanessa Whitmore is not Jordan's fiancée. She's a woman who wants to be, and she's using you to get to me, to drive a wedge between me and Jordan. And you fell for it because you were desperate and stupid and selfish. Amara, please, Diane started. No, Amara said. You don't get to please me. You abandoned us. You stole from us. You let Daddy think he'd failed as a husband when the whole time it was you destroying our family. And now you're back and you're still being manipulated, still making terrible choices. I'm trying to make things right, Diane said, standing up too. I know I messed up. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I'm your mama, Amara. I'm sick. I'm a gambling addict. I need help. Then get help, Amara said. Go to Gamblers Anonymous, see a therapist. Do whatever you need to do, but don't ask me to be part of your recovery. Not yet, maybe not ever. Baby, please, I have to go, Amara said, grabbing her purse. Wait, Diane said. There's more. Vanessa asked me to do something else. Amara stopped. What? Diane pulled out her phone and showed Amara a series of photos. Photos of Amara and Jordan at Krog Street Market, holding hands at Piedmont Park, kissing. She wants me to give these to the press, Diane said. She wants me to tell them that Jordan Ross is having an affair with his employee, that he's using his position to take advantage of you. Amara felt her blood run cold. And are you going to do it? No, Diane said firmly. That's why I'm telling you, I'm not perfect, Amara. I've made terrible mistakes. But I'm not going to hurt you like that. I wanted to warn you. Vanessa is planning something big, and it's going to happen soon, Amara demanded. I don't know exactly, Diane said, but she told me to be ready, that in a few days everything would change. Amara stared at her mother for a long moment. Thank you for the warning, Amara said finally. But Mama, stay away from me, stay away from Daddy, and stay away from Vanessa. She's dangerous, and you're not strong enough to go up against her. Me help you, Diane pleaded. Let me make this right. You can't, Amara said. The only thing you can do is disappear again. Go get help for your addiction, fix yourself. Maybe someday when you're healthy we can try again, but not now. Amara walked out of the coffee shop, leaving her mother sitting there crying. Outside, Amara stood on the sidewalk, shaking. She pulled out her phone and called Jordan. He answered on the first ring. Amara, are you okay? You sound upset. You meet me. Amara asked. I need to talk to you, it's important. Where are you? Jordan asked immediately. Midtown Java Jive coffee shop. 15 minutes away, Jordan said. Stay right there, I'm coming. True to his word, 15 minutes later, Jordan's Tesla pulled up to the curb. He jumped out looking worried. What happened? He asked, pulling Amara into a hug. Right there on the sidewalk in the middle of the afternoon, Amara broke down. She told him everything about her mother. About Vanessa paying off Diane's debts. About the photos, about the plan to go to the press. Jordan's face grew darker and darker as she talked. That woman is insane, Jordan said when Amara finished. I knew she was obsessed, but this is next level. What are we going to do? Amara asked. We're going to get ahead of this, Jordan said. If Vanessa wants to play dirty, we'll play smarter. Come on, we're going to see my lawyer. Jordan, I have to get to work, Amara said. I have the dinner shift. Call Marcus, Jordan said. Tell him you need the night off. This is more important. Amara made the call. Marcus, her sous chef, assured her he had everything under control. Then Jordan drove them to his lawyer's office in Buckhead. The lawyer, a sharp black woman in her 50s named Cassandra Wright, listened to everything Amara had to say. "This is harassment," Cassandra said when Amara finished. "Potentially even blackmail. Vanessa paid your mother to interfere in your relationship with Jordan. That could be considered tortious interference." "Can we stop her?" Jordan asked. "We can try," Cassandra said. "But if she's already given those photos to the press, there's not much we can do. The damage will be done." "What do we do?" Amara asked. "We prepare," Cassandra said. "We get your story ready. The truth. How you met, how you started working for Jordan, the nature of your relationship. If the press comes after you, you need to be ready with honest answers." "We haven't done anything wrong," Amara protested. "Jordan hired me because I'm talented. We didn't start dating until after I'd already proven myself." "That may be true," Cassandra said, "but the court of public opinion doesn't care about truth. They care about scandal, and a billionaire CEO dating his employee. That's scandalous no matter how innocent it actually is." Jordan took Amara's hand. "We'll get through this together." Amara wanted to believe him, but she had a sinking feeling in her stomach that things were about to get much, much worse. That night, Jordan took Amara back to his penthouse in Buckhead. It was the first time she'd seen where he lived. The place was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Atlanta skyline. Modern furniture, art on the walls, everything screaming wealth and taste, but it also felt empty, like a showroom instead of a home. "This is where you live?" Mara asked, looking around. "This is where I sleep," Jordan corrected. "It's not really a home, just a place to be between work." He made them dinner. Well, he tried. Ordered takeout from a Thai restaurant and plated it like he'd cooked it himself. Amara laughed for the first time all day. "You know I'm a chef, right? You don't have to pretend." "Wanted to impress you," Jordan admitted, grinning sheepishly. They ate on the balcony, watching the sun set over Atlanta. "Tell me something good," Amara said. "Something that has nothing to do with Vanessa or the press or any of this mess." Jordan thought for a moment. "My brother called me yesterday, Marcus Jr. He told me that no matter what happens with the board meeting, he's voting to keep me as CEO. He's standing with me against our father." "That's good," Amara said. "You two are close." "We are now," Jordan said. "Growing up, we were competitive, always fighting for our father's approval, but after our mom died, something changed. We realized that family should mean more than business, that we should support each other, not tear each other down." "I wish I had a sibling," Amara said quietly. "Someone to share all this craziness with." "You have Keisha," Jordan pointed out. "True," Amara said, smiling. "She's basically my sister." They sat in comfortable silence for a while. "Amara," Jordan said finally, "whatever happens in the next few days, I need you to know something." "What?" "I don't regret any of this," Jordan said. "Meeting you, hearing you, falling for you. Even if Vanessa succeeds in making our lives hell, even if the press destroys us, even if I lose my company, I don't regret you." Amara felt tears prick her eyes. "I don't regret you either. But Jordan, I can't let you lose your company because of me. That's your family's legacy. 3 generations of work." "If I keep it by marrying Vanessa?" Jordan asked. "By living a lie, that's not honoring my family's legacy. That's betraying everything my great-grandfather built. He started that hotel so black people could have dignity, so they could be treated like human beings. How can I honor that legacy by selling my own humanity?" Amara didn't have an answer for that. Jordan pulled her close. "Whatever storm is coming, we face it together. Okay?" "Okay," Amara whispered. He kissed her, soft and sweet, and for a moment the world and all its problems faded away. The next 2 days were strangely peaceful. Amara threw herself into work at the restaurant. They were fully booked for the next 3 weeks. The reviews kept pouring in, each one more glowing than the last. Charlie pulled Amara aside one afternoon. "Chef, I just want to say thank you." "What?" Amara asked. "Giving me a second chance," Charlie said. "I was terrible to you when you worked here as a server. I was stressed and angry and I took it out on you. But you could have fired me when you became head chef. Instead, you showed me grace. That means everything." "Everyone deserves a second chance, Charlie," Amara said. "Just make sure you pay it forward." "I will," Charlie promised. Marcus, her sous chef, was becoming not just a colleague but a friend. He'd started bringing his wife to the restaurant for dinner once a week, and Amara would prepare special dishes for them. "You know," Marcus said one night during prep, "when you first started, I didn't think you had what it takes to run this kitchen. I thought you were just some girl who got lucky." "Now?" Amara asked, smiling. Now I think you're the best chef I've ever worked for, Marcus said sincerely. You have vision, chef. You're going to change Atlanta's food scene. Sarah, the pastry chef, had become like a little sister to Amara. They'd bond over their shared love of baking, creating new desserts together. I'm working on something special, Sarah said one afternoon. A dessert inspired by your grandmother, peach cobbler deconstructed, bourbon peach sorbet, brown butter streusel, vanilla bean cream. When Amara tasted it, she actually cried. Sarah, this is perfect. Mama Louise would love this. Brittany from culinary school had backed off a bit. After Amara had won the top score in their advanced pastry techniques exam, Brittany had approached her after class. Really good, Brittany admitted grudgingly. I thought you were just coasting on that scholarship, but you actually have talent. It wasn't exactly an apology, but it was progress. Amara's father was continuing to improve. He'd started physical therapy exercises at home, determined to regain full use of his left hand. I'm going to cook again, Terry announced one evening. Even if it's just breakfast for you, baby girl, I miss creating in the kitchen. Then we'll cook together, Amara said. This weekend, whatever you want to make. Terry's face lit up like a child on Christmas morning. Keisha remained Amara's constant support system. She'd come over several nights a week and they'd talk while Amara cooked. So you're really in love with this man, Keisha said one evening. It wasn't a question. I really am, Amara admitted. Is that crazy? We've only been together for a few weeks. Doesn't follow a timeline, boo, Keisha said. My parents knew each other 3 weeks before my daddy proposed. They were married 40 years before he passed. What if Vanessa succeeds? Amara asked. What if she destroys us? Then you'll survive it, Keisha said firmly. Just like you survived everything else. But Amara, I don't think she's going to win. That woman underestimates you. She thinks you're weak because you're not rich, but you're the strongest person I know. Jordan and Amara spent every free moment together. He'd come to the restaurant after closing and they'd cook together in the empty kitchen. Amara teaching him techniques, Jordan making her laugh with his terrible knife skills. Are you a billionaire with these knife skills? Amara teased, watching him massacre a tomato. Have people who cut my tomatoes, Jordan said, grinning. Any more, Amara said. If you're dating a chef, you're learning to cook properly. They talk about everything. Their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. Jordan told her about his mother. How she'd loved gardening, but his father thought it was beneath her. How she wanted to volunteer at schools, but Marcus Sr. said it didn't fit the family image. She died at 48, Jordan said quietly. Stress-induced heart attack. The doctor said her blood pressure had been dangerously high for years, but she never told anyone. Just kept smiling, kept being the perfect wife. I'm so sorry, Amara said, taking his hand. That's why I can't marry Vanessa, Jordan said. I watch pretending kill my mother, I won't do it to myself. Amara told him about her grandmother, about learning to cook at her knee, about the way Mama Louise could make anyone feel loved with a plate of food. She used to say that cooking is the most intimate thing you can do for someone, Amara said, more intimate than anything else. Because you're literally creating something to sustain their life, to nourish their body, that's an act of love. That why you became a chef? Jordan asked. Partly, Amara said. But also because in the kitchen everything makes sense. You follow a recipe, you get results. Life is messy and complicated, but cooking has rules, structure, beauty. One evening, Jordan took Amara to meet his brother. Marcus Jr. was different from Jordan, more easygoing, quick to laugh. But Amara could see the family resemblance in their eyes. They met at a casual restaurant in Virginia Highland, a neighborhood dive bar that served the best wings in Atlanta. So you're the woman who's got my brother acting like a lovesick teenager, Marcus Jr. said, shaking Amara's hand. Marcus, don't embarrass me, Jordan warned. Too late, Marcus Jr. said, grinning. Amara, you should know that Jordan talks about you constantly. Amara made this amazing dish. Amara said the funniest thing. It's adorable and nauseating, Amara laughed. She liked Marcus Jr. immediately. Over wings and beer, they talked about the upcoming board meeting. Dad has been making calls, Marcus Jr. said seriously. He's lining up votes to remove you as CEO. He's got at least 3 board members committed to voting with him. How many does he need? Amara asked. 7 out of 12, Jordan said. Dad has 4 votes including his own. I have 3 including mine. That leaves 5 board members who are undecided. So you need to convince 3 of them, Amara said. Exactly, Jordan said. I've been scheduling meetings, making my case. showing them our growth numbers, our expansion plans, trying to prove that I'm the right person to lead this company into the future. It's working? Amara asked. Maybe, Jordan said. Two of the undecided members are leaning my way, but it's close, too close. What happens if you lose? Amara asked quietly. Then I'm out, Jordan said simply. Dad will install someone else as CEO, probably someone who will agree to the merger with the Whitmores, and I don't know, start over, I guess. You've worked your whole life for this, Amara said. Worked my whole life to prove I'm good enough, Jordan corrected. That I'm not just riding on my family name, and I've done that. If the board votes me out, it won't be because I'm not qualified. It'll be because I won't play by the old rules. Marcus Jr. raised his beer. To not playing by the old rules, they clinked glasses. Amara, Marcus Jr. said. Can I ask you something personal? Sure, Amara said. Do you love my brother? The question hung in the air. Jordan looked at Amara, waiting for her answer. Yes, Amara said simply. I do. Jordan's face broke into the biggest smile Amara had ever seen. Good, Marcus Jr. said. Because he loves you too, even if he's too chicken to say it yet. I'm sitting right here, Jordan protested. It then, Marcus Jr. challenged. Jordan turned to Amara. Right there in that dive bar with sticky floors and neon beer signs on the walls, he took her hand. Love you, Amara Winters, Jordan said. I know it's fast, I know it's complicated, but I love you. Amara felt tears fill her eyes. I love you too. They kissed, and Marcus Jr. made exaggerated gagging sounds that made them both laugh. It was perfect. Simple and real and perfect. If only they'd known that in less than 24 hours everything would fall apart. The next morning, Amara woke up in Jordan's penthouse. They'd spent the night together, talking and laughing and falling deeper in love. She checked her phone and saw she had 17 missed calls from Keisha, from Marcus, her sous chef, from Charlie, and 3 from a number she didn't recognize. Her stomach dropped. She called Keisha back first. Oh, thank God, Keisha answered immediately. Amara, where are you? Have you seen the news? What news? Amara asked, dread filling her stomach. Turn on Channel 5, Keisha said. Now. Amara found the remote and turned on Jordan's TV. Switched to Channel 5 News, and there on the screen was a photo of her and Jordan kissing in Piedmont Park. The headline below read, Billionaire CEO Jordan Ross in scandalous affair with employee. The news anchor, a white woman with perfect hair and a sympathetic smile, was talking. Sources close to the Ross family say that Jordan Ross, CEO of Ross Continental Hotels, has been having an inappropriate relationship with one of his employees, Amara Winters. Miss Winters was hired as head chef at Piedmont Grill, a restaurant Ross purchased 3 months ago, despite having no prior experience running a kitchen at that level. Screen cut to an interview with Diane, Amara's mother. I warned my daughter, Diane was saying to the camera, tears streaming down her face. I told her that Mr. Ross was using her, taking advantage of her vulnerability, but she wouldn't listen. She's so young and he has so much power over her, Amara whispered. No, no, no. Jordan woke up hearing the television. What's going on? Then he saw the screen, saw Diane's interview, saw the photos. That lying, Jordan started. The news anchor continued. We reached out to Vanessa Whitmore, fiancée of Jordan Ross, for comment. There was Vanessa looking devastated and beautiful in a designer dress, standing outside the Ross Continental headquarters. I'm heartbroken, Vanessa said to the cameras. Jordan and I have been engaged for months. We were planning our wedding, and to find out he's been having an affair, it's devastating, but I'm more concerned about Miss Winters. She's clearly being manipulated by a man in a position of power over her. I just hope she realizes what's happening before she gets hurt even more. Amara felt like she was going to be sick. She set this up, Amara said. She set all of this up. Jordan was already on his phone, calling his lawyer, calling his brother. His face was dark with fury. Amara's phone rang. It was Marcus, her sous chef. Chef, I'm so sorry to bother you, but there are reporters outside the restaurant, Marcus said. Like dozens of them, they're trying to get inside. Charlie's freaking out. What should we do? Don't let them in, Amara said. Don't talk to them. Just close the restaurant for today. Tell the staff I'm sorry. After she hung up, she looked at Jordan. This is it, Amara said. This is what Vanessa was planning. She used my mother to make it look like you were taking advantage of me. And now the whole world thinks I'm your mistress. We'll fix this, Jordan said. We'll hold a press conference, tell the truth. It won't matter, Amara said, tears streaming down her face. The damage is done, your reputation is damaged, my restaurant is surrounded by reporters, and your board meeting is in 3 days. Jordan, this is going to destroy everything. Jordan pulled her into his arms. Let them try, we know the truth. That's what matters. But even as he said it, both of them knew that sometimes the truth wasn't enough. By noon, the story had exploded. It was trending on Twitter. Ross scandal, poor Amara, billionaire abuse. The narrative had been set. Jordan Ross, powerful billionaire, taking advantage of a vulnerable young woman who just lost her family restaurant and whose father was sick. Never mind that Amara had been the one to pursue culinary excellence her whole life. Never mind that she'd earned her position through talent. Never mind that their relationship had developed naturally over time. The court of public opinion had decided. Jordan was the villain. Amara was the victim, and Vanessa was the wronged fiancée. Amara's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Reporters, tabloids. Everyone wanted a comment. Finally, she turned it off. Jordan's lawyer, Cassandra Wright, came to the penthouse. "This is bad," Cassandra said bluntly. "Really bad. The board meeting is in 3 days, and this scandal is going to give your father all the ammunition he needs to remove you as CEO. Then we fight it," Jordan said. "We hold a press conference. We tell the truth." "Say what?" Cassandra asked. "That you hired the woman you're in love with to run a restaurant. That's not going to play well, Jordan. It looks like favoritism, like you're using company resources for personal reasons." "I didn't know I loved her when I hired her," Jordan protested. "Can you prove that?" Cassandra asked. "Can you prove that your feelings didn't influence your decision?" Jordan was silent. "I thought not," Cassandra said. "Look, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but perception is reality in cases like this. And the perception is that you gave your girlfriend a job she wasn't qualified for." "Is qualified," Amara said quietly. She'd been sitting silently, listening. "I graduated top of my class from Le Cordon Bleu. I have recommendations from some of the best chefs in Atlanta. The restaurant has gotten incredible reviews since I took over. I earned that position." "I believe you," Cassandra said gently, "but the press doesn't care about qualifications. They care about the story, and the story is rich man uses his power to seduce poor woman." "What do we do?" Jordan asked. "We minimize the damage," Cassandra said. "Jordan, you need to distance yourself from Amara publicly. Issue a statement saying that while you did have a personal relationship, it's over, that you regret any appearance of impropriety." "Absolutely not," Jordan said immediately. "Jordan," Cassandra started. "No," Jordan said firmly. "I'm not throwing Amara under the bus to save my reputation. That's exactly what my father would do. What Vanessa wants me to do. I'm not doing it." "Then you're going to lose your company," Cassandra said bluntly. "Then I lose it," Jordan said. "But I'm not losing Amara," he turned to Amara. "We faced this together, like we said. Amara wanted to be brave, wanted to match his conviction, but she was terrified." "Jordan," Amara said quietly. "Maybe Cassandra is right, maybe we should." "No," Jordan said. "Amara, no, we're not letting Vanessa win. We're not letting the press decide our lives. Your company is just a company," Jordan said. "You're real, what we have is real, that matters more." Amara looked at this man who was willing to lose everything for her, and she realized something. She couldn't let him do it. "Need some air," Amara said, standing up abruptly. "I need to think." "Come with you," Jordan said. "No," Amara said. "Please, I need to be alone for a bit." Jordan looked like he wanted to argue, but he nodded. "Okay, but don't go far. There are reporters everywhere." Amara grabbed her purse and left the penthouse. She took the elevator down to the parking garage and called an Uber. She couldn't go home, couldn't go to the restaurant. Where could she go? The Uber driver picked her up and Amara gave him an address. The rehabilitation facility where her father had stayed. She needed to talk to Terry. When she arrived, her father was in the common room, working with his physical therapist on hand exercises. "Amara," Terry said, surprised. "What are you doing here, baby girl? I thought you'd be working." "We talked, Daddy," Amara asked. Privately, Terry excused himself from the therapist and they went to his old room. It had been converted for a new patient, but it was empty at the moment. "I saw the news," Terry said gently. "About you and Jordan." Amara broke down. Right there, she collapsed into her father's arms and sobbed. Terry held her, stroking her hair like he'd done when she was a little girl. "I ruined everything," Amara cried. "Jordan's going to lose his company because of me. The restaurant is surrounded by reporters. Everyone thinks I'm some gold digger who slept her way into a job." "You know that's not true," Terry said. "And Jordan knows it, and I know it. That's what matters." "His company, Daddy," Amara said. That's his family's legacy, 3 generations of work, and he's going to lose it because he won't distance himself from me. Terry was quiet for a moment. Me tell you something, baby girl, Terry said finally. When I met your mama, my parents didn't approve. She was from a different background. They thought she was beneath us. They told me that if I married her, they'd cut me off. I didn't know that, Amara said. I married her anyway, Terry said. Because I loved her, and you know what? I never regretted it. Even now, even after everything that happened, I don't regret choosing love over my parents' approval. You lost your family, Amara said. I gained a different family, Terry said. I gained you, and baby, you were worth more than anything my parents could have given me. He cupped Amara's face in his hands. Don't you dare push Jordan away because you think you're protecting him, Terry said firmly. Let him make his own choices. If he wants to fight for you, let him. That's his decision, not yours. What if I'm not worth it? Amara whispered. What if he loses everything and then realizes I wasn't worth losing it for? Then he's a fool, Terry said. But I don't think he is. I think he knows exactly how special you are. And baby, you're worth fighting for, you always have been. Amara hugged her father tight. What should I do? She asked. Stand beside him, Terry said. Face this storm together, and trust that love is stronger than scandal. Amara left the rehabilitation facility feeling slightly better. But as her Uber pulled up to Jordan's building, she saw something that made her blood run cold. News vans, reporters, cameras, all camped outside the building, and standing at the front of the crowd looking directly at Amara's Uber was Vanessa Whitmore. Vanessa smiled. Amara's phone, which she turned back on, buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Come to Piedmont Grill. Now, if you ever want this to end, come alone. Amara's hands shook as she read the message. This was a trap, obviously. Vanessa wanted to confront her publicly, to humiliate her in front of the press. But what choice did Amara have? She texted back. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Then she told the Uber driver to take her to the restaurant instead. She should have called Jordan, should have told someone where she was going, but she didn't. Because part of her thought maybe, just maybe, she could end this herself. When the Uber pulled up to Piedmont Grill, Amara's stomach dropped. The entire street was packed with news vans. Reporters, cameras, lights. This wasn't a private meeting. This was a public execution. Amara took a deep breath and stepped out of the car. Immediately, the reporters swarmed. Winters, is it true you seduced Jordan Ross? Did you know he was engaged? How does it feel to be a homewrecker? Amara pushed through the crowd, not answering. Her heart was pounding so hard she thought it might explode. She reached the restaurant door and went inside. The dining room had been set up like a press conference. Chairs facing a podium. Cameras positioned around the room, and standing at the podium looking victorious was Vanessa Whitmore. Next to her, looking broken and guilty, was Diane Winters, Amara's mother. Mom, Amara said, her voice barely a whisper. What did you do? Vanessa smiled at Amara, cold and triumphant. Thank you for coming, Miss Winters, Vanessa said loudly for the cameras. I thought it was time we all had an honest conversation. Amara looked at her mother. Diane's eyes were red from crying. She wouldn't meet Amara's gaze. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, Vanessa said, addressing the reporters who'd followed Amara inside. I've called you here today because I want to set the record straight about Jordan Ross and Amara Winters. Vanessa, don't do this, Amara said quietly. Do what? Vanessa asked innocently. Tell the truth. Isn't that what everyone wants? She turned back to the cameras. Jordan Ross and I have been in a committed relationship for years, Vanessa said. Our families have been planning our marriage, but 3 months ago, Jordan met Miss Winters and became obsessed. He bought a restaurant just to give her a job. He's been using his position of power to coerce her into a relationship. That's a lie, Amara said, her voice shaking but firm. Is it? Vanessa asked. Tell me, Miss Winters, when Jordan offered you the head chef position, did you feel like you could say no? Amara started. Did you feel pressured to accept his romantic advances because he was your boss? Vanessa continued. Because he held your career in his hands. It wasn't like that, Amara said. Then how was it? Vanessa demanded. Explain to everyone how a billionaire CEO and a waitress with no experience end up together. Explain how that's not a textbook case of workplace harassment. Amara opened her mouth to respond, but no words came out, because how could she explain? How could she make people understand that what she and Jordan had was real? That's when Diane spoke. It's not true, Diane said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Vanessa said sharply. It's not true, Diane repeated louder this time. Jordan didn't coerce Amara into anything. I lied. Vanessa paid me to lie. Room erupted, reporters shouting questions, cameras flashing. Vanessa's face went white then red. "Diane, what are you doing?" "The right thing," Diane said, tears streaming down her face. "Finally, I'm doing the right thing." She turned to face the cameras. "My name is Diane Winters. I'm Amara's mother. 3 weeks ago, Vanessa Whitmore found me and offered to pay off my gambling debts if I would help her destroy my daughter's relationship with Jordan Ross. She gave me $60,000. She wrote the script for that interview I gave this morning. All of it was lies." "You're lying now," Vanessa said frantically. "She's lying. I never." "I have proof," Diane said. She pulled out her phone. "I recorded our conversations, every one of them, including the one where you told me exactly what to say to the press." She hit play on her phone and Vanessa's voice filled the room. "You need to paint him as a predator," Vanessa's recorded voice said. "Make it clear that Amara had no choice, that he used his power over her. The press will eat it up." Reporters went wild. Vanessa tried to grab Diane's phone, but Diane stepped back. "It's already been sent to multiple people," Diane said. "You can't destroy the evidence." Vanessa's carefully constructed facade crumbled, her face twisted with rage. "You stupid woman," Vanessa hissed at Diane. "I gave you everything, I saved you, and this is how you repay me." "You didn't save me," Diane said. "You used me just like you tried to use my daughter, but I'm done being used." She turned to Amara. "Baby, I'm so sorry," Diane said, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry. I wanted the money. I wanted to fix my debts, and somehow that made me think I could fix things with you too, but I was wrong. I hurt you again, and I almost destroyed your happiness." Amara stood there overwhelmed. Her mother had just saved her. After everything, Diane had done the right thing. "Why?" Amara asked. "Why did you change your mind?" "Because I saw you on the news this morning," Diane said. "Saw the way they were talking about you, saw the pain in your eyes in those photos. And I realized I'd become exactly what I feared most. I'd become someone who hurt her own child for money." She took a shaky breath. "I'm sick, Amara. I'm a gambling addict. I've made terrible choices, but I'm still your mama. And a mama protects her baby, even when she's failed at everything else." Before Amara could respond, the restaurant door burst open. Jordan strode in, followed by Marcus Jr., Cassandra the lawyer, and surprisingly Marcus Ross Sr. Jordan's eyes immediately found Amara. He rushed to her side. "Are you okay?" he demanded. "I got your location from your Uber app. What's going on?" "Your fiancé just tried to destroy me on live television," Amara said, "but my mother stopped her." Jordan turned to look at Vanessa. His expression was ice cold. "She's not my fiancé," Jordan said loudly for the cameras. "She has never been my fiancé. Vanessa Whitmore and I dated briefly in college. That was over a decade ago. Our families wanted us to marry for business reasons. I refused. I have always refused." He turned to the reporters. "Since we're all here, let me set the record straight," Jordan said. "I met Amara Winters when she performed an act of extraordinary kindness. She gave me her last $100 when she thought I was homeless and needed help. She didn't know who I was, didn't know I had money. She helped me because she's a good person." He took Amara's hand. "When I found out she was a trained chef working as a waitress, I offered her a position as head chef at Piedmont Grill, not because I wanted to date her, because she's phenomenally talented, and the reviews since she took over have proven that." He looked directly into the cameras. "Romantic relationship didn't begin until weeks after she'd already proven herself in that kitchen. And yes, I'm her employer, which makes this complicated. But Amara had and has the freedom to walk away at any time. I have never used my position to pressure her, and anyone who suggests otherwise is lying." "What about your engagement to Miss Whitmore?" a reporter called out. "There is no engagement," Jordan said firmly. "There has never been an engagement. My father wanted me to marry Vanessa to merge our companies. I refused. I will always refuse, because I'm in love with Amara Winters." Reporters erupted with questions, but Jordan wasn't done. He turned to his father, who'd been standing silently at the back of the room. "Dad, I know you're here to damage control," Jordan said, "to protect the family reputation. But I need you to hear this. I'm not marrying Vanessa. I'm not sacrificing my happiness for a business deal. If the board votes me out because of that, then so be it." Marcus Ross Sr. looked at his son for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he smiled. A real smile. The first genuine one Jordan had seen from his father in years. "I'm not here for damage control," Marcus Sr. said. Everyone turned to look at him. "I'm here because my younger son called me an hour ago and told me I was about to make the biggest mistake of my life." Marcus Sr. continued. He told me that I already lost my wife by trying to control her life, and if I went through with removing Jordan from the company, I'd lose both my sons too. He walked closer to Jordan. Been wrong, Marcus Sr. said, his voice thick with emotion. I've been trying to protect you by controlling you, just like I tried to protect your mother, and it killed her. I'm not going to let it kill my relationship with my sons too. He turned to the reporters. Record, I fully support my son's relationship with Miss Winters, and I will be voting to keep him as CEO at our board meeting. Jordan has doubled our profits in 5 years. He's expanded into new markets. He's the best CEO this company has ever had, and he deserves to live his own life. Jordan looked stunned. Dad, I don't, Marcus Sr. said, his voice rough. Don't thank me for finally doing what I should have done years ago, just be happy, son. That's all I want. For you to be happy. Father and son looked at each other for a long moment. Then Jordan hugged his father. Many of the reporters had tears in their eyes. This was better than the scandal they'd come for. Vanessa was still standing at the podium, her world crumbling around her. This isn't over, Vanessa said desperately. You can't just... It is over, a new voice said. Gerald Whitmore, Vanessa's father, walked into the restaurant. He looked furious. Vanessa Catherine Whitmore, Gerald said. What have you done? Daddy, I can explain, Vanessa started. You bribed someone to lie to the press, Gerald demanded. You created a scandal that's going to damage both our families. For what? Because you couldn't accept that a man didn't want to marry you. But the merger, Vanessa protested. Merger is dead, Gerald said flatly. I'm not doing business with the Ross family after this circus. And you young lady are going to issue a public apology. Then you're going to get help. Therapy. Because this obsession with Jordan Ross is not healthy. He turned to Jordan and Amara. I apologize for my daughter's behavior, Gerald said. She's clearly unwell. I hope you can both find it in your hearts to forgive her someday. Vanessa stood there, everything she'd worked for destroyed. I loved you, she said to Jordan, her voice breaking. I've loved you since college. All I wanted was for you to see me, to choose me. I know, Jordan said, not unkindly. But Vanessa, you can't force someone to love you. The things you did to try to keep me, that's not love, that's obsession. Vanessa's face crumpled. Her father took her arm and led her out of the restaurant. After they left, there was a moment of stunned silence. Then Diane approached Amara. I know this doesn't fix everything, Diane said quietly. I know I have a long way to go to earn your trust back, but I meant what I said. I'm getting help, real help. I've enrolled in a gambling addiction program. I'm seeing a therapist. Good, Amara said. That's good. Can I see your daddy sometime? Diane asked hesitantly. I know I don't deserve it, but I miss him. I miss both of you. Amara looked at her mother, really looked at her, this broken, flawed woman who'd hurt her so badly, who'd also just saved her. One day, Amara said, but not yet. You need to get healthy first. Prove that you're serious about changing. I will, Diane promised. I'll prove it to you. She left quietly, and Amara turned to Jordan. That was insane, Amara said. Welcome to my world, Jordan said, smiling. So what happens now? Amara asked. Now, Jordan said, we live our lives. The board meeting is in 2 days, but with my father's support, I'll keep my position. Vanessa's threat is neutralized, and you and I, we get to be together without hiding. Just like that? Amara asked. Just like that, Jordan confirmed. Marcus Jr. approached them, grinning. That was better than any reality TV show, he said. You two are going to be famous. The billionaire and the chef who fought scandal for love. It's very romantic. Up, Marcus, Jordan said, but he was smiling. Cassandra, the lawyer, was already handling the reporters, making statements. Setting the record straight, the story would change now. Instead of billionaire takes advantage of employee, it would be billionaire defies family for true love. Still dramatic, still headline-worthy, but at least it was the truth. 2 days later, the Ross Continental Hotel's board meeting took place. Amara sat in the gallery, watching. Jordan had wanted her there. The boardroom was impressive. 20 floors up in the Ross Continental headquarters building. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Atlanta. A massive table where 12 board members sat. Marcus Ross Sr. stood at the head of the table. Gentlemen and ladies, Marcus Sr. said. We're here to vote on Jordan Ross's continued position as CEO. Before we vote, I'd like to say something. He looked directly at Jordan. My son has led this company brilliantly for 5 years. Under his leadership, we've expanded into 6 new cities. Our revenue has doubled. Our employee satisfaction is at an all-time high. He's proven himself not just capable, but exceptional. Marcus Sr. paused. But more importantly, he's proven himself to be a man of integrity. A man who won't compromise his values for convenience. And that's exactly the kind of leader this company needs. He looked around the table. Move that we vote to keep Jordan Ross as CEO. All in favor. 8 hands went up, including Marcus Sr.'s. Jordan had won. After the meeting, Jordan hugged his father. "Thank you," Jordan said. "Thank me," Marcus Sr. said. "You earned it, and son, bring Amara to dinner this Sunday. I want to get to know the woman who helped you find your backbone." That Sunday, Amara dressed nervously for dinner at the Ross family mansion. "What if he doesn't really like me?" Amara asked Keisha, who'd come over to help her get ready. "What if this was all for show and he secretly hates me?" "Then you deal with it," Keisha said. "But girl, I saw the way that man looked at you on the news. He meant every word." Ross Mansion in Buckhead was stunning. 3 stories, massive lawn, more square footage than Amara could comprehend. Jordan picked her up personally, refusing to let her be intimidated. "It's just a house," Jordan said, "and my dad is just a man. A stubborn, occasionally infuriating man, but just a man." Dinner was surprisingly pleasant. Marcus Sr. asked Amara about her cooking, about her grandmother, about her dreams for the restaurant. "I want to expand eventually," Amara said. "Not into a chain, but maybe a second location, something that honors Southern food while innovating." "That's a good vision," Marcus Sr. said. "Honoring tradition while embracing change. That's how businesses survive." Marcus Jr. was there too, making everyone laugh with stories about Jordan as a kid. "He once tried to fire our entire kitchen staff because they wouldn't make him pancakes for dinner," Marcus Jr. said. "I was 7, Jordan protested. "You were a tiny dictator," Marcus Jr. said. After dinner, Marcus Sr. pulled Amara aside. "Owe you an apology," he said. "I judged you before I knew you, made assumptions based on your background. That was wrong." "I understand why you were protective," Amara said. "Jordan is special, of course you want to protect him." "Is special," Marcus Sr. agreed. "But he doesn't need protecting, he needs supporting, and you do that for him, you challenge him. Make him better, that's what a real partner does." He paused. "My wife Caroline, she was like you, strong, principled, refused to compromise who she was. I loved that about her. But I also tried to change it, tried to mold her into what I thought she should be, and it destroyed her." His voice broke slightly. "Let Jordan make that mistake with you," Marcus Sr. said. "Don't let anyone, including me, make you feel like you need to change to fit into our world. You're perfect as you are." Amara felt tears prick her eyes. "Thank you, Mr. Ross." "Me, Marcus," he said, smiling. "We're family now." Over the next month, life settled into a new normal. The restaurant continued to thrive. Amara's reputation as a chef grew. Food magazines wanted interviews. Other restaurants wanted to hire her, but Amara stayed at Piedmont Grill because it was hers. Because she'd built something there. She did hire additional staff, though, expanded the kitchen, started a Sunday brunch service that became the hottest ticket in Atlanta. Charlie got a promotion to regional manager, overseeing 3 Ross Continental Hotel restaurants. Marcus, her sous chef, became her co-head chef. They worked as a team, pushing each other to be better. Sarah, the pastry chef, won an award for her dessert innovation. The kitchen staff became a family. And every night before service, they'd gather for what Amara called family meal, sitting together, eating together, connecting as humans before the chaos of service. Amara's father continued to improve. He started coming to the restaurant once a week, sitting in the kitchen and offering advice, teaching Amara's staff some of his old recipes. "Your grandmother would be so proud," Terry said one evening watching Amara work. "I hope so," Amara said. "I know so, baby girl," Terry said. "You took everything she taught you and made it your own. That's exactly what she wanted." Diane kept her promise. She went to Gamblers Anonymous meetings, saw a therapist, got a job working at a community center helping other people with addictions. She called Amara once a week, never pushing, never demanding, just staying in touch, proving she was serious about changing. After 3 months, Amara agreed to have coffee with her. It was awkward at first, but slowly, carefully, they started rebuilding. "I can't promise I'll ever be the mother you deserved," Diane said during one of their coffee dates. "I can't erase the past, but I can be better in the future if you'll let me." "Let you try," Amara said. "That's all I can promise right now." It was enough. Jordan and Amara's relationship deepened. They didn't rush into anything. No quick engagement or wedding. Just steady, solid love. They'd cook together in his penthouse kitchen, travel together when Amara could take time off, talk about their future. "Want kids someday," Jordan said one evening. "Is that something you want?" Maybe, Amara said, but not yet. I want to build my career first, prove myself. Then we can talk about Bobby's. Enough, Jordan said, kissing her forehead. I'm in no rush. I just want to build a life with you, however that looks. 6 months after the scandal, Jordan made a decision. He stepped down as CEO of Ross Continental Hotels. What? Amara exclaimed when he told her. Why? You fought so hard to keep that position. I fought to prove I could make my own choices, Jordan corrected. And I proved it, but Amara, I don't love running that company. I never did. I was doing it because it was expected, because it was the family legacy. What are you going to do? Amara asked. I'm going to teach, Jordan said, smiling. History at Georgia State University. They offered me a position. It doesn't pay much compared to what I was making. But it's what I actually want to do. You're serious, Amara said. Completely, Jordan said. Marcus Jr. is going to take over as CEO. He actually loves the business, and I'm going to do something that makes me happy. He took her hands. You inspired me, Jordan said. Watching you pursue your passion for cooking, even when it was hard, even when people doubted you, you reminded me that life is too short to do things just because other people expect them. Amara kissed him. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us, Jordan said. 1 year after they met, Jordan took Amara back to the Publix where it all started. Why are we here? Amara asked, confused. Because this is where my life changed, Jordan said. He led her to the exact spot where he'd been sitting as a homeless man, where Amara had given him that $100. Amara Winters, Jordan said, getting down on one knee. Amara's hands flew to her mouth. A year ago, you gave me $100 when you had nothing to spare, Jordan said. You saw me when I was invisible. You showed me that kindness still exists in this world. And you changed my life in ways I never could have imagined. He pulled out a ring box. I don't want to live another day without you, Jordan said. Will you marry me? Amara was crying, happy tears, overwhelmed tears. Yes, she said. Yes, yes, yes. Jordan slipped the ring on her finger and stood up, pulling her into his arms. They kissed right there in the Publix parking lot where it had all begun. Love you, Jordan said. Love you too, Amara said. A year later, they got married. It wasn't a huge society wedding, just family and close friends. At Piedmont Grill in the restaurant that had brought them together, Amara wore a simple white dress. Jordan wore a suit. Terry walked Amara down the aisle, tears streaming down his face. Marcus Jr. was Jordan's best man. Keisha was Amara's maid of honor. And surprisingly, standing in the back of the restaurant, Diane watched her daughter get married. Amara had invited her at the last minute, a gesture of forgiveness and hope. I do, Amara said, looking into Jordan's eyes. I do, Jordan said, looking into hers. They kissed as husband and wife, and everyone cheered. At the reception, Marcus Sr. gave a toast. A year and a half ago, I thought I knew what my son needed, Marcus Sr. said. I thought he needed to marry for business, to do his duty, to sacrifice his happiness for the family legacy. He looked at Jordan and Amara. But my son taught me that the real legacy isn't business deals or mergers. It's love. It's integrity. It's choosing to be true to yourself even when it's hard. He raised his glass. To Jordan and Amara, may your love continue to inspire everyone around you. Everyone drank to that. Later, when they were cutting the cake, Jordan whispered to Amara, "Do you ever regret it, giving me that $100? Amara smiled. Never. Best $100 I ever spent. To know something funny? Jordan asked. What? I still have it, Jordan said. That $100 bill, I framed it. It's in my office. A reminder that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness lead to the biggest changes. Amara kissed him. You're such a romantic. Only for you, Jordan said. They danced their first dance as husband and wife. Not to some fancy orchestra, but to a playlist of songs they both loved. And as Amara looked around the room at all the people who loved them, at the life they'd built together, she realized something. She'd thought giving Jordan that $100 was the end of something. The last of her money. The last of her hope. But it had been a beginning. The beginning of everything. The lesson here, y'all. Don't be so focused on protecting what you have that you miss the blessing right in front of you. Don't let fear of loss stop you from showing kindness. And don't ever let anyone make you feel like you're not worthy of love. Amara was worthy. She always was. She just needed to believe it. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories like this coming. Stories about real people facing real challenges and choosing love over fear. Drop a comment and tell me, what would you have done in Amara's position? Would you have given away your last $100? And do you believe in love at first sight? Smash that like button if you're Team Amara and Jordan. These two earned their happy ending. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that miracles still happen, that kindness still matters, that love is still real. Until next time, remember, your act of kindness today might change someone's entire life. So be generous, be brave, be kind, stay blessed, y'all.